Check. I don't hear that music. So let's stop that. Oh, that's why. Just figured it out. That's why I couldn't hear it. All right, let's get into it. We have one viewer on Twitch. I wonder if that's Sophie. Sophia, old school viewer of the Friday live stream, if you're familiar with that franchise in MTV history. That was a damn good time, and she's basically the only person that watches over there on Twitch. But it is Kevin Kenney. It is Friday, May 30th. It is great when you have the date right there on your computer to look at. And we used to do this quite a bit in 2020, 2021. I think they also brought it back in 2023. Do you remember that? MTV brought a Friday live stream incarnation back in 2023, and it was so short-lived, I almost forget that happened. And it was taped, and it was kind of weird. No offense to MTV. I love MTV, but it was kind of weird. And so we used to do this a lot on Fridays. And I had a free Friday night, and I was like, so much has happened in the world of music over the past 4 or 5 days this week. We got to have a place where we can come and talk about it together. I know I want to talk about it. I'm sick of just talking to my buddies on the phone about these stories, going, dude, you see this? Did you see that? So I don't know. Hopefully this will be a weekly thing. And then obviously we can cut out clips for those that don't have the patience for a 2-hour live stream podcast, whatever this will become. But this is a great week to kind of talk about what's going on in music, as I'm a little distracted. Thank you if you're listening on demand. I just sent out the message to the Connected group. If for whatever reason you like me, you enjoy hanging out with me here on the internet, you can actually get updates via the Instagram broadcast channel that I just started. It sounds very sexy. It is. And that's Connected. Connected. You get it? It's like my last name. ChatGPT gave me that. And honestly, I was in a really good mood at the time. It's great to be in a good mood, but being in a good mood is almost like being drunk. You got to take all of your thoughts with a grain of salt. And I was in a really good mood. I was probably very caffeinated. And I said, that's great because like I'm connected to you and my name's Kevan Kenney. And that's like connected. It's just a couple letters off. We'll see if we change it. But that is over on Instagram. I don't even know how you join that. Isn't that terrible? I should look into these sorts of things when I start these sorts of things. But I just sent out a message on Connected, our Instagram broadcast channel, letting everybody know, hey, we're live. But you don't have to join us live. It's not that important. If you like the live stream, if you're bored, if you got nothing to do on a Friday night, you want to hang out, that's awesome. But I'm also going to probably make this a podcast, and there'll be tons of YouTube videos based off what we talk about, and also like tons of social clips throughout the week. So there'll be a lot of ways for you and I to sort of hang out and talk music. If you like doing that sort of thing, and me with my ADHD, I'm sure we'll veer off the topic of music quite a bit. So even if you're not like a huge music head, you more so like when we hang out late at night here on the internet, we just like whatever, kick it and just talk about life. Or maybe you know me from Loveline and you like when I would talk about sex and relationships and dating. That also will probably come into play here. But I do want to talk right now about some stuff that's going on in the world of music. And I want to actually, well, before I get, the ADHD is kicking in. I want to talk about something that fascinates me. So I'm drinking coffee, right? Love coffee, by the way. You want a cheat code, by the way, that's a health, like a health hack? If you like sugary drinks, if you like sugary coffees, and you go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, or if you're so lucky that you could have a Dutch Bros coffee near you, oh, the best. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment. If you're watching the video, I got my eyes closed a little bit right now. Dutch Bros coffee. You see, where I live right now, there's no Dutch Bros. And where I lived in Los Angeles, there were no Dutch Bros. Where I grew up in New Jersey, there were no Dutch Bros. I've been deprived of Dutch Bros my entire life. My entire life. I have visited family members. I have visited my father in Las Vegas under the guise of wanting to see him. And it was really because I wanted Dutch Bros. That's how much I love Dutch Bros. That's how great Dutch Bros is. Dutch Bros is incredible. How Dutch Bros is not a nationwide company is crazy. And I'm not going to bash any companies, but we have companies that are huge. They're traded on the stock market. The heads of them run for president, and they serve us burnt, gross coffee every day. It's disgusting. It should be a crime. In some states, maybe it is. But Dutch Bros, with the exception of one time, and we won't even go there. I think the machine was kind of broken that day. It was a little faulty mix of the coffee. With the exception of that one time, Dutch Bros has never failed me. I have friends, best friends, people I would trust with my life that have failed me more than Dutch Bros has failed me. Dutch Bros is amazing. If you don't know what Dutch Bros is, maybe we should go to the website. Let me show you what Dutch Bros is. So you remember when, if you grew up in the 90s or 2000s, and maybe they still do this, but I remember Burger King was absolutely groundbreaking in this space. Not that, coffee is kind of fast food if you really think about it, especially if you think you're eating healthy at Starbucks. You're not. That's basically fast food. But do you remember when they would do the frozen drinks? Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. If you're watching this on demand, leave it in the comments. If you're live, there's a chat box. They used to do frozen drinks. Does Burger King still do frozen drinks? I don't know. But Dutch Bros Coffee does frozen drinks. They also do a lot more. Let's get this up on your screen for those watching across the internet right now. I got to stop calling it the internet, dude. Why do I do that? I think sometimes when we have anxiety, or we're overly caffeinated, we use weird terms. So, hey, let's add this to the stream. Boom, there you go. Look at this. This is like, dude, this is gorgeous to me. Like how most dudes feel about their Instagram Explore page of scantily clad women. This is how I feel looking at this. This is incredible. Dutch Bros. Feast your eyes. So they got seasonal drinks, Dutch faves, protein coffee, blended freeze, coffee classic, shakes, chai latte, iced tea, lemonade, Dutch Bros Rebel energy drink. What, for the people that listen to Puddle of Mud? What the hell is this? Dutch Bros Rebel energy drink. Is Rebel a brand? I can't even imagine how many calories are in there. Did they tell you? Poppin', boba, fire, lizard, rebel. Too many words. Banana, orange, and strawberry with strawberry boba. How many calories? How many calories? 2,000 calories a day is used for. Yeah, we know that. How many calories is in this? How many calories? Nutrition allergy information. Bro, they really hide this, don't they? I'm not bashing them. I'm really oh my god, look at how many calories are in here. This is crazy. Something called the Golden Eagle has 650 calories. That's a lot. Anyways, not what I'm trying to do. Sorry, I was looking at a chart and I realized you can't watch that. I'm learning as we live stream. If you're listening to the audio product, you don't care. You're lost. You're like, why are we doing 10 minutes on coffee at the top of the show? Because this coffee means a lot to me. So if you go back here, I'm going to tell you, if you live in an area where you are lucky enough that you can access a Dutch Bros, this is what you need to do. I'm telling you right now, okay? You need to go there and you need to go. I promise I know what I'm talking about. Blended freeze. Okay. And then you got to scroll down past all this stuff. And you got to get either the banana split or I really also like the banana bread. Both of these are great. I actually know, now that I'm reading this, I like the banana split. I am publicly endorsing. I rarely get political, guys. You know that about me on social media. I am going to endorse a candidate here for the very first time. Everybody wants to know what party I am loyal to. I'll tell you what party. Dutch Bros. And you know who my candidate is? You know who's getting my vote? Not only this November, but every day of the week and every month of the year. The banana split blended freeze. Amazing. Just absolutely gorgeous. Amazing. I'm spending 10 minutes on this on a music show because it's that good. But anyways, Dutch Bros is fantastic. And I got a health hack, where if you like to go to these places and you like that they're all sugary and you just have, that's the thing too, is people go, oh, you shouldn't be drinking that. Yeah, but it's tough, dude. It's addicting. When you start drinking sugary things every day and they put sugar in everything and we start drinking these things from a young age, yeah, bro, you're going to get addicted to this stuff. And then you're going to have withdrawals, and they don't call them withdrawals, but that's what they are if you don't get enough sugar. Anyways, if you get liquid stevia, not only is that better than this crap they're putting in this coffee, but it's even better than stevia in the raw. It's even better than powdered stevia. I learned this. I'm dealing with gastro issues. I'm dealing with stomach issues. And this is way better on your stomach, and it packs a punch. I am drinking store-bought coffee, got a little bit of almond milk, just a dash. I put and you don't even need a lot of the stevia, the liquid stevia. You just do a little dab, goes a long way. And then a little bit of mineral salt. It's amazing. But I bring all this coffee stuff up to give you that health hack if you're looking for a health hack. But also, something occurred to me. And why is this? Hot coffee, good, right? Iced coffee, good, right? Why is mild coffee the worst thing that you could possibly put in your mouth as far as caffeinated drinks go? I mean, it's really disgusting. It has the aroma and the experience of what I would imagine toilet water to taste like. It's like that consistency when it's mild coffee. But that's what I don't understand. It's like, we like it really hot, we like it really cold. Why is it in the middle? And then because I have so much time on my hands, I was like, is that like a parable for life? If I'm using parable correctly, I hope I am. Where whatever you are, you gotta be that thing, because nobody likes when you're half-ass. Nobody likes when you're kind of like, this, that, the other. They like when you're absolutely who you are. So I guess we'll start off with that Friday night motivation. If you're going to be something, be an iced coffee. Be a piping hot coffee. Don't be a mild coffee. All right. I'm glad I got that off my chest. All right. I also want to get something else off my chest. There's something missing in music today. And I was thinking about what it is, and I was trying to figure out as you get older, and I'm in my 30s now. As you get older, you have to constantly fight this notion that things were better when you were a kid because they weren't. They just weren't. Because your parents thought that, and then we saw our parents' music, and we were like, "That sucks." Well, most of us did. Maybe you had a relationship with your parent where they loved Led Zeppelin, and that made you love Led Zeppelin, or they loved the Beatles, and now you love the Beatles. That happens. That definitely happens, and that's beautiful if that happens. If you can bond with your parent over anything, that's amazing. But a lot of this stuff from our parents will be like, "There were only 4 channels. It was great. We didn't need more than that." And I'm like, that sounds like it sucks. I can like look up anything ever, or like, oh, like I remember, what's funny? I remember my mom I was obsessed with MTV as a kid, and obviously that led to a career. And I loved music videos, and my mom would always say, you know, I hate music videos because they steal your imagination. You can't imagine what the song's about. They rob you of that. And I could see if I was a baby boomer or a person of that generation, that's a legitimate argument. Before music videos, you could listen to a song and you could think it was about X, Y, or Z, and you could think it was about, a guy in a big greenhouse and he's got like 10 dogs, or where does my mind go, right? But whatever. You can imagine it's about anything. And then I guess when MTV comes along and then they go, no, well, this is the music video. I could see you having an aversion to that. Just like people my age have an aversion to social media or TikTok, right? Where they think that's stupid. Which we're going to get to, by the way. We're going to talk about Addison Rae and this new song, Fame is a Gun, just came out today, and doing a media blitz. Addison Rae is doing a media blitz right now. I mean, this is like a swing. And if you don't know what a swing is, I'll explain what that is in a little bit. But you have to resist this urge to just say the past was better as you get older. It was simpler. We as humans, if we want to get real and direct, we prefer simplicity. We like when we know what the road's going to look like as we're walking. And so when you're being nostalgic, you know what that road looks like. And it's very comforting because you're constantly every day in unprecedented times. And so that's obviously very attractive. I go on that tangent to say that you can't, what I'm trying to figure out about what I miss about music, it can't just be, well, it was so much better. I mean, look, we are living through crazy times when it comes to music. I mean, music is fundamentally a different thing now than it was 20 to 30 years ago because people largely aren't playing the instruments anymore. The rise of digital production is a huge before and after moment in the world of music and how it sounds and how it feels. And that might be a conversation for another day. But you know what I miss? I miss shitty music. I miss not bad music. I miss crappy music. Crappy music is not bad music. Because a perfect song is oftentimes bad. It's bad. It's not the point of music. It's not the point of art. It's not the point of life is to be perfect. And I heard this song and I realize now the great thing about being on the radio is, I guess the radio company, I don't even know how this works. I probably should have learned this along the way, but I guess the radio company pays the rights fees so that you can play whatever you want on the radio. So I could always just pull things up when I was on the radio. I did a bunch of research today. You can't do that. If we want to monetize this, I can't play the song. I can tell you about the song though. And I will tell you about this song right now. It is let me show you this. This came across my feed this week, and this is why I go on this tangent about crappy songs and crappy music. So this is a band called The Muffs. All right. I can't play the song, but I think you'll kind of get the vibe of the band from the music video. It's from 1995 and on Napster. If you're a millennial and you downloaded anything on Kazaa, LimeWire, or Napster, your formative memories, some of those songs were really crappy quality, but they were your favorite songs. The hell was that? Some technical difficulties, it looks like. But they were your favorite songs. So it wasn't about the production. It wasn't about the vocal And I found a band the other day that I'm going to show you right now. A new band, and I was like, "Why do I love this so much?" It's a punk rock band. Again, I can't play the music, but you can, of course, look it up whenever you want. You can just write down what I'm saying or type it into your phone if you're listening to this on your phone. Um, yeah, this band is called. Let's see this. Hold on. Let's add them to the scene. I'm getting really good at this streaming stuff, guys. I'm very proud of myself. Okay, check out these guys. This is great. So their name is Fun While It Lasted SC _ SC. So I don't know if that means they're from Southern California or probably South Carolina, I'd imagine. Anyways, so I can't play you the song, but I think you can gather what I'm talking about with crappy music being awesome. These guys, I don't think they would be offended, are not going to be confused with Adele or Beyonce or Teddy Swims from a vocal standpoint. But this is my favorite punk rock song that I have found easily this month. And the month's almost over. So that's saying something, fellas, all right? In all of May, this is my favorite punk rock song. Fun While It Lasted, which is also, I love phrases. This is what makes a really great punk band, pop punk band specifically. If your name is a phrase, like Games We Play, if you're familiar with Games We Play, awesome. One of the best pop punk acts right now. Games We Play, it's a phrase. All Time Low, phrase. The Story So Far, phrase, right? Fun While It Lasted. It's like in that same ilk. So anyways, these guys, they're not professionally trained. I mean, I'm going out on a limb here, but you shouldn't be, is my point of this whole conversation. It's not about being professionally trained. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being the best technical person. It's, do you have a story to tell? And are you telling that in a real, authentic way? And these guys are. But listen to these lyrics, because I can't play the song. You can look it up. It's called Tom DeLonge, which I bet is great for the algorithm and SEO purposes. It also isn't like cheaply done. Some people do this where they name a song like something and you're just like, oh, you did that to like hack the search, dude. This is perfect. They don't even get to the Tom DeLonge part until the hook, and it's like the last word of the hook. It is not a song about Tom DeLonge. It is a song about this guy's disposition and wanting to sort of get out of the frustrating disposition, which is what every great punk song is really about. So here, I'm going to try to do this justice. And if you're watching us or watching the video, you can see what we're looking at here. It's on their Instagram. Again, Fun While It Lasted _ SC. But listen to these lyrics. The lyrics are, even if that old bitch had it coming, because she called me fat. Already I'm in. I'm like, what? Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. You're fighting with a woman who's older than you, enough for you to call her old. So she's much older than you. You're very angry at this woman because she called you fat. Now you're calling her a bitch. I'm in. I want to know what's going on. And sometimes songwriting is kind of like that. If you think about it, it's like lyrics should be something where if you heard somebody say that at a restaurant behind you, you'd turn around. Does that make sense? Like if I saw an older fat woman fighting with a teenage punk rocker in a parking lot, I would stop my cart and take my phone out for sure. And then I would begin filming for sure. And then I would watch. I need a fucking hit of my vape before I kick my dog in the face. Because I got the eviction notice. It came in the mail today. I guess you can't chase someone's grandma with a bat. That is, dude. I guess you can't chase someone's grandma with a bat is the only thing I need to know about this band. They rule. What is the next line? Even if that old bitch had it coming. Oh, I guess he's there. Here it goes again. Because she called me fat. That's it. Okay, that's all. That's all the clip was. That rules. That rules. And that is so much better. So much better than some pseudo punk song that was like fostered over for months and everything's perfectly mixed. And, and I don't know, maybe for certain genres of music, that's good. But how many times do we need to see in the music industry? Hold on, let me get this off the screen for you guys. Okay. How many times do we need to see in the music industry some song become a hit that doesn't make any sense to anybody, and they're like, "Oh, it's this viral hit. Have you heard it? It makes no sense." No, it makes perfect sense because it's probably just fundamentally a real, honest, authentic song that is speaking to some sort of lived human experience. That thing's like the zombie. Sorry, excuse me if you're listening to the audio product. This thing keeps popping up. And it's connecting with people, and it has nothing to do with who produced it. It has nothing to do with who wrote it. It has nothing to do with the bells, the whistles. Dude, it's just like people relate to it in a deep, meaningful way, and then they want to stream it over and over again in today's landscape, and that's why it becomes a hit. So anyways, if you like music, think about this next time you listen to music, right? Think about, why do I like that song? Why do I like this song? And I bet you it's not like I love the production. I don't think it's going to be. Anyways, I miss crappy music. That's what that was all about. Speaking of the 90s, another thing that popped into my head is these pivots that happened in the 90s. Because in the 90s, you weren't on social media every day. Like bands could, as they say, right, the old adage, you could develop a band. And because you could develop a band, a lot of people wouldn't even realize that band was a thing until they were super, super, super famous. And they typically got super, super, super famous when they were a well-oiled machine. I mean, even Nirvana, people think Smells Like Teen Spirit's their first single. It's not. It's not even their first album. That was their second album. 2 years after their first album came out. So think about that. They got to hone their craft, and that's their second album. Some people, that didn't happen until their fourth, fifth, sixth album. One of those bands I'm talking about is Sugar Ray. And you probably know Sugar Ray is like the Fly Band. I just want to fly. See, can I sing a song? Will it get taken down? Does anybody know? They did Someday. When you know will come my way. What other songs did Sugar Ray do? Oh, every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner. All right, I probably, my intuition's telling me that's not chill to do, so I'm not going to sing anymore. You guys probably don't even enjoy it. Sugar Ray, a couple years before they were that band, which is like, how would you describe Sugar Ray? Like a beachy band, a laid back band, right? Easy, not easy listening, but just like a chill, cool, like throw it on at the barbecue band, right? Okay, let me show you who Sugar Ray was just a couple of years before all those songs that you know. I want you to see what Sugar Ray was all about, because this is going to be crazy for you to see if you're not familiar with their trajectory, and this is part of a larger point that I promise we will get to. Let's bring this bad boy up. Okay, so check this out. This is from their first album, 1995, Lemonade and Brownies. So for the people that like to know dates and stuff, this is 2 years before Fly and all that stuff. Look at this. This is like a hard rock band. If you're listening and you can't see what we're talking about, I encourage you to go to my social media and Kevan Kenney on YouTube so you can see what we're doing. But I mean, this is like, they're banging their head around. There's like a guy in a trunk of a car. I mean, this does not look chill. This does not look islandy. I mean, he's on a Cadillac. There's a dog on an ice rink. They're performing on an ice rink. I mean, they got the crazy dyed hair. I don't even think they've added DJ Homicide. You remember that? They had a DJ in the band eventually. So anyways, this band, right? Sugar Ray, in 1995 is like doing the thrash metal thing, the hard rock thing, right? Now, if they were living in, say, 2024 and they did this, we would always be like, you're a poser. Like, what? Like, now you're trying to be like soft? Like, that's weird. I thought you guys were like the hardcore rockers. It happened again with another band, by the way, in the 90s, a pivot that I noticed. And that was Blessed Union of Souls. You remember Blessed Union of Souls? Do you guys know them? I don't know if you're old enough to know them, but they had a big hit. I guess I just learned based off this conversation, they had 2 hits. And this is their first hit if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook. This is called I Believe. This was a top 10 hit this week in 1995. I think that's why I got served the video. Or this month in 1995, this was a top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. If you look at it, the video, it's like a ballad. It's like this beautiful song. It's truly a ballad. And I knew them from a song they did 4 years after this song in 1995. In 1999, they did a song called She Likes Me for Me. You remember that song? Again, I don't want to sing it, but the point is, She Likes Me for Me. Let's get this up on the screen right now. Look at this. This is just a couple of years later, this band. Completely different tone. The first was a ballad. It was heartfelt. It was real. You could slow dance to a song like that if you were in school at the time. And then 4 years later, this is this like quirky, irreverent song about, she likes me for me, not because. And then it goes into like, all these pop culture. Are there lyrics here because I'm not doing it justice and I'm totally drawing a blank on the lyrics. She likes me for me. And the lyrics are, yeah, she likes me for me, not because I look like Tyson Beckford, a model at the time, with the charm of Robert Redford oozing out my ears. What she sees are my faults and indecisions, my insecure conditions, and the tears upon the pillow that I shed. And then, she likes me for me, not because I sing like Pavarotti or because I'm such a hottie. I like her for her, not because she's fat like Cindy Crawford. She has got so much to offer. Why does she waste all her time with me? Probably because she loves you, dude. That's what I would imagine. Yeah, she likes me for me, not because I'm tough like Dirty Harry, make her laugh just like Jim Carrey. I'm like the cable guy. So anyways, that's a pivot is my point. My point is that that's a pivot, and it's a pivot that you were basically like afforded in the 90s as everyone, tries to compare modern day to then. It was very different because back then you could do these sorts of things. If you did that now, pivots are like crucified online. And one person who I did want to shout out as being an amazingly resilient artist and an artist that I don't even think you understand how long this person has been an artist. And I will tell you another person that didn't realize it was Nicki Minaj. I'm going to bring up this tweet right now. Nicki Minaj, for if you're unaware, is on the cover of Vogue Italia. So that's Vogue in Italy, which I guess Italy needs its own Vogue. I think a lot of these like foreign versions of magazines, I'll tell you, this is my conspiracy theory. A lot of these foreign versions of magazines that are specific to like smaller countries, I think are just like ways for Vogue to give sorry about that. Ways for Vogue to give artists covers when they don't want to give covers to them in the United States. That's my conspiracy. But anyways, I'm going to show you this. Nicki Minaj is on the cover of Vogue Italia, and she says, I didn't know that Sabrina Carpenter had been around that long when I started listening to her, a breath of fresh air. So Nicki giving flowers. I think Nicki also said in this interview that she likes Billie Eilish. She was very vague, though. Nicki was like, yeah, I like Billie Eilish. I love everything she does. Maybe Nicki does. I'm just teasing. But I started to think, and I was like, well, I remember interviewing Sabrina Carpenter on TRL when I first got to MTV. And that was, I'm going to bring up this clip, which is hilarious. This is my first season on TRL. This is when it was a morning show for like a month. They aired it in the morning. I'm going to try to bring this up for you guys. Hold on a second. Check this out. Yeah, look at this. One moment. There we go. So there's little old me. And this is Sabrina Carpenter and me on TRL in 2018. So I was like, damn. Like, so that right there is 7 years of Sabrina Carpenter doing this. At least 7 years. This is the fall of 2018. And then I was thinking about how I also interviewed her at Billboard. And this is even earlier in 2018. And so I go, wait a minute. And then I thought about how even earlier than that, I interviewed her in 2017. So she has been out there doing this, literally talking to doofuses like me for 8 years at least, and maybe longer. But I thought that was pretty remarkable that she is now. And she just went back to number 1 on the UK charts this week. Pretty crazy. And honestly, just another source of inspiration for you on a Friday. That if you're pursuing something, to not give up on it just because it's not happening right now. Sabrina Carpenter has been doing this every day of her life since at least 2017, and obviously further back than that. I think she was on Disney or something like that. I was a little old for Disney in the 2010s, but it's just something for you to think about. Another thing for you to think about that I feel like doesn't really come up quite often, that I think is interesting, is a lot of people are critical of music now. They just feel like it's boring. That's something I hear a lot of, is that music is boring, that there's too many songs and none of them are really, they don't feel, this is really what I hear a lot. Music doesn't feel like it used to. And I don't know if that's millennial nostalgia, but also you see Gen Z coming up the pike and they're sort of like, they're into Y2K stuff. They're into 2000 stuff. Or even I've seen sentiments now online of people saying like, man, I wish I was in high school in 2018. I wish I was in high school in 2017. Yo, what I would give to be out in the club in 2016 when this dropped. And so you can't really blame it on millennials because we were out in the club in 2016. I was there. You were there if you're my age. So what is that newfound yearning or nostalgia from the younger crew too? And look, when you make more of anything, it's the law of scarcity. If you make more of something, it's less valuable. That's why inflation's a thing. And people make more music now because you can make more music now. And so it's going to be less special. There's going to be more. I mean, bro, I used to think I was so unique and I was so like into music and I knew about music and I was a music kid when I was like 13. I look back now, bro, and I look at the charts from when I was 13. Bro, every single one of my favorite songs, it's literally just the top 10 on Billboard. That's all it is. I was just being served 10 songs, 20 songs, 30 songs, and I was like, yeah, I love these songs. And now you're being served like thousands of songs a week. I bet you that's the number. I bet you come into contact with thousands of songs a week that you listen to purposely, that you just hear out in the wild. Anyways, so that's definitely going to make music feel different for sure. But another thing that I think that doesn't get talked about enough is that we as music lovers and we as music fans really did get robbed of this decade in so many ways, because the biggest artists that were on the come up, that were truly exciting artists, many of them died. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, it's tragic. I don't know. I hope crazy doesn't sound insensitive. Juice WRLD, XXX, Lil Peep, Mac Miller, Pop Smoke. I mean, Nipsey Hussle. He'd been in the game for a while, but I imagine what he would have done by now. Victory Lap, like that was kind of like his crossover into people like me knowing about Nipsey Hussle. And I don't even he passed away a year, 2 years after that, if that. So I just named you 6 names, and I'm sure there are people that are slipping my mind right now. I just named you 6 names of generationally defining artists that would have defined further what music would become in this decade that are no longer here. Of course, there's going to be an effect, man. There's not infinite genius in the world. That's why genius is so celebrated, and you know it when you see it. And I think about that. I was listening to a song by Lil Peep this week called Walk Away as the Door Slams, the acoustic version. And it made me really emotional. Because I remember the day that, and I think that had to have come out after he had passed, the acoustic version of that song. But I remember like that New Music Friday, and I was leaving work in New York City from the radio station I worked at, and New Music Friday, I worked late. So it was like New Music Friday at midnight, and I was walking to the PATH train in New York City back to where I lived in New Jersey at the time. And I remember listening to that song when it dropped, and it was just like that's music. That's real. Again, getting back to what we were talking about earlier, it's not a perfect song. It's not a great song, but it's from a fundamental standpoint, but it hits you. It touches you. That song is amazing. If you don't know that song, you need to learn about that song. But Lil Peep, I mean, I remember Awful Things coming out and just the energy around that in August 2017 of feeling like, okay, this is a new sound. That's really what we're missing. I mean, if we really want to talk about what we're missing in music right now, there isn't a new sound. I was talking to somebody in the music industry recently, and they were like, yeah, I'm hearing the 80s are next. And I just thought that was so lame. Like, we had the 80s. We had the 90s. We had the 2000s. We had the 2010s. And then this decade so far, it's like, it's all derivative stuff. And I'm not saying there aren't great songs or catchy songs or things happening in underground movements, but it just feels like everything, you could name something and I can tell you, well, that's derivative of this. And of course, you could argue and be devil's advocate and say, well, that's how it always was. You know, everything was inspired by what came before it, but it's a little different now with samples and interpolations and just like direct bites. But it is interesting when you think about that. If music does, look, if you love music right now, more power to you, sister. More power to you, brother. Rock on. But if you do feel that feeling that a lot of people feel where it is a little underwhelming, I think a big part of that is that these generational talents are not here to define the decade that they were destined to define. Because these people wouldn't have done SoundCloud rap the whole time. Of course not. They would have evolved. For better and for worse. That's the other catch-22, right? Is like, it could have morphed into something that you didn't like. But these people were phenomenons. I mean, phenomenons. If you are on the younger side and weren't really aware when Juice was putting out records or Peep was putting out records or XXX was putting out records. Just an electric time in music and just a new sound. I'll never forget. This is a lame story. It's going to sound lame. It's going to sound kind of corny, but it's real. I was grocery shopping in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I was walking back to my apartment. I didn't have a car at the time because it's not because I couldn't afford a car. I didn't want to make it sound like a sob story. I didn't have a car at the time because it was very difficult to park in Hoboken, New Jersey. If you know the area, if you know the city, it's a nightmare. So I just didn't have a car. So I would walk to and from our supermarket. So I have my groceries in my hands. When I hear All Girls Are the Same by Juice WRLD for the first time, and I had to stop, sit down on a park bench and just loop it. Again, I know that sounds corny. That's literally how good that song was the first time I heard it, because I had never heard anything like that. These pop punk sensibilities, these pop punk melodies, these tropes that were traditionally reserved for emo music now being verbalized by a hip hop rap artist over trap beats was fascinating, dude. Fascinating. Yes, Kanye did 808s and Heartbreak, and yes, Drake was sort of the sad boy and all that stuff. But dude, this was like punk. This was rap. It was just utterly fascinating. So I will agree with people who say they're underwhelmed by music right now that there isn't a new sound happening. There's a lot of recycled sounds happening. And I bring all this up because XXX and Juice have a song out today. I don't even know what the song is called. It is called Whoa. And I'll bring this up for you if you're watching live right now. Thank you to everybody watching live. Let's go over to, is this Hot New Hip Hop? Is that what this is? See, it's annoying it does that, but hold on. There we go. All right. This is Hot New Hip Hop. The song is called Whoa. And I guess it's a remix. It says Skin is XXX Tentacion's third album. It also includes the hit songs Bad and What Are You So Afraid Of? It was released in December 2018. Okay. The estates of late rappers XXX Tentacion and Juice WRLD reunite the artists for a special remix track that supports their entry into the Fortnite video game. Okay. Again, I think posthumous releases are kind of gross unless the money is going to the right person. If this is helping someone's family, that's awesome. Originally on XXX's Skin album, Juice WRLD provides the remix with his signature melodic hip-hop sound. The Chicago rap star battles his demons on the track with a heartfelt verse. I feel a little weird that like Hot New Hip Hop is writing about this. Like these people are alive. XXX Tentacion pours out pain, trying to make sense of life, love, and mental struggles. His delivery is soft but cuts sharp. I get it. Like I get that these people have to write words about this stuff, but I do think it's so funny when they just describe the song. It's like, well, I can just listen to the song. I don't need you to say it's like, soft but cut sharp. And I'm not dogging this writer, whoever had to write this, but boy, also, that's a job that, how long does that job last? With AI? I mean, dude, just like, hey, write me an article about this new, all these websites, how are you not doing that? Write me an article about this song. And then you're going to have it in 5 seconds. Boom, put it on your website. If you're watching this right now, you can probably start a website. Whatever you're into, you can probably start a website right now and just outfit it with AI-written stuff, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. You do you, girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is, the remix supports the artist collaborations with Epic Games and Fortnite. I never got into Fortnite. Obviously, a little too old for Fortnite. But actually, I guess I'm not. There are people that I know that are older than me that play that game a lot. But I don't know. I'm a very specific gamer. I like sports video games or like Rockstar games. Rockstar is a company, not like Rockstar, like music. I like Grand Theft Auto. I like Red Dead Redemption 2. Fortnite, I don't know. While Juice WRLD had previously collaborated with Fortnite for an unforgettable experience, the estates, well, this is bad writing. For an unforgettable experience. What experience? It was so unforgettable. You didn't mention it? The estates teamed up with gaming entity and Jogo Studios to add XXX Tentacion to the Fortnite family, joining other hip-hop stars like Ice Spice and Snoop Dogg. XXX Tentacion will receive new skins and virtual island for fans. This is weird, dude. This is like if Tupac had this in like The Sims. It is funny, right? Like how sensibilities change throughout time and history where like for my generation, like if Tupac had his own island in The Sims, like that would have been made fun of. But and you know what? Here's the other thing that like maybe kids are making fun of this. We just assume, oh no, kids are really into this. Yeah, kids are like super. Yeah, they think this is cool. They might think this is so lame. They might like XXX Tentacion, but they're like, yeah, dude, like I don't like he has his own island. I don't know. But I don't even know how islands work in this game. Like, well, if you go to the island, can you like just listen to his music? I don't know. The virtual world is becoming more and more important, I am finding. And I think it's tough for a lot of people my age to rectify, if that makes sense, because we grew up in the visceral world and we put a premium on the visceral world. And I think it's a tough concept for people to understand that the visceral world is not inherently better than the virtual world. We just prefer it because that's where we grew up. It says, woe captures their truths, their demons, and their hopes. It's a reminder that even though tragedy, their voices still connect with those feelings. Yeah, I don't know. That's that. Kind of a weird article, I'm not gonna lie. All right, let me get rid of that. I think it's gonna pop up again though. I need to figure out how to stop doing that. Whatever. So that happened today, and just some food for thought on why music might be in the space that it's in. Let me show some love to the chat really quick. We got people in here. We got Bud Light Bro, watching your stream is gold. I love it, dude. Jeff D. Wills, Loud Vision Media. Let's see. Gray's Girl's in the house. Soph Maz is in the house. All right, dope. And this thing keeps coming back. This zombie of a problem that we're dealing with on the live stream. All right, now I think we should talk about Addison Rae. Now, who'd have thunk this, huh? Addison Rae. 5 years ago, Addison Rae, the it girl of TikTok, right? And I believe 5 years ago, was it 5 years ago or 4 years ago? Because it was the MTV Friday live stream days where you would request videos with me on MTV's YouTube every Friday. And here we are on another Friday live stream on my YouTube channel talking about this. It's kind of a funny, weird, full circular moment. She made Obsessed. Her debut song was Obsessed. I loved that song. Her new stuff sounds very different than that. Very different than Obsessed. Addison Rae is a legitimate pop star. And these songs are legitimately good. It's just interesting, isn't it? Because that always really, I'll give you an example. How this is sort of akin to something. When there's a new group in popular culture, no matter what that is, whether it's like I'll give you examples from different generations. 90210, if you're on the older side. 90210, right? Some of those people became big stars. Some of them didn't, right? Some of them hosted SNL. Some of them made Sharknado, right? The Ensemble. Same thing with Friends, right? They're loaded. Every single one of them is loaded. But some of them wound up leading actresses in movies. Some of their spinoff shows got canceled first season. So you never really know what's going to happen with an ensemble. In the world of music, remember Young Money? Lil Wayne's troupe that apparently he's bringing back. There's a new Young Money. See how that one goes? Another reboot. When he launched Young Money, you didn't know if Drake was going to be bigger than Lloyd, was going to be bigger than Nicki, was going to be bigger than... Who else was in Young Money? Let's look up Young Money roster 2009. Who was in Young Money? So listen to these names in Young Money. Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Gutta Gutta, J Mills, Mac Main, Tyga, Lil Chucky, Lil Twist, and Chanel. You are lying if you remember half those people. You have no idea who T Streets is. You have no idea who Chanel is. No way. The fact that Drake, Nicki, and Tyga are all in this is kind of crazy. I guess, excuse me, Lloyd wasn't in Young Money. He was just on the Bedrock single, so he sang the hook on the Bedrock single. But do you remember, like, I'm trying to make a point here about ensembles early on, how unpredictable they are. Look, let's watch the Bedrock music video together, okay? And this is kind of incredible because I think the whole thing is like a MTV Cribs parody to give you an idea of like just to date it in terms of like sort of the reference. But watch this. I want you to pay attention to the order they introduce people. So here's Wayne. He's a bona fide rock star at the time. This is post Carter 3. There's Nicki, some sex appeal right off the bat. But think about the ensemble and then what would happen. And this relates back to our good friend, Addison Rae. Okay. Because if you remember this video, it's kind of like, oh, maybe it's not Cribs, it's like The Real World. It's supposed to be like a parody of The Real World on MTV because they introduce all the. So who gets first dibs? This guy. Who's this guy? Who is this? Gutta? I thought they had their names. The whole reason I'm showing you this video is I thought they had their names up. But you guys can't name that guy. Gutta, there he is. His name's Gutta. Shout out to Gutta. And I just realized if you're listening to the audio product of this, we're watching the Bedrock music video from 2009. Okay, so here's Lloyd. So we've gotten Wayne, star, right? Get him out of the way. Nikki, definitely the leading female of this group. Gutta leads off. Then we get Lloyd singing the hook. But think about that. Gutta is leading off. That's the first person that Wayne is like, we're going to introduce Gutta first. And I just thought about this. We should watch this at double speed because you can't even hear it. So let's watch this at double speed. Okay. So here's Nikki doing her thing, right? Here's a guy knocking on her door. Now you don't even know who that is yet. But you will. There's Drake. And now we get Drake. So kind of like in the middle of the song, we get Drake. Now, my point is Drake is, we're going to talk about him later in the show because he just became the first artist to ever have 10 diamond records, which is basically 10 different 10 million unit selling. It's so screwy today. We'll talk about that with streams and equivalent albums and things like that, but whatever. One of the biggest artists of all time. Here's Tyga, who I think already had a hit. You remember Tyga's hit, he put the lime in the coconut and something like that back in the 2000s. But he's still doing his thing. He's a big star, Tyga. But point is like in 2009, you have no idea who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. Who's this guy? Now this guy, I've never even seen this guy. Hold on. Mills. This is Mills. Okay, so we have Gutta and Mills. But the point is these people are on a song with Drake. These people are on a song with Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj and Tyga and honestly Lloyd. And then Mac. There, this guy's Mac. Mac Main, I think. Is that his name? Mac Main? Anyways, you have no idea. So similarly to that of a more recent generation would have been the TikTok kids. And I'm not like well-versed enough in TikTok to know which house was which, but like you had Jaden and Bryce Hall and Josh Richards and Charlie D'Amelio and Lil Huddy and Dixie D'Amelio and Noah Beck and what was the other guy? Is it Mason Griffin? Was that a guy's name? And then Addison Rae. And who could have thought that 5 years later, I mean, by the way, like Josh Richards, I think he did the thing with Barstool. He does the thing with Dave Portnoy. He does the thing with Brianna Chicken Fry. Like that guy, he went into venture capitalism. That guy's killing it. Jaden's doing his music thing. Oh, Nessa Barrett was a part of that whole TikTok crew. Nessa's doing pretty well, right? Lil Huddy is kind of, I think, still figuring out the music thing. The D'Amelios are just sort of like the Kardashians, I feel like, of Gen Z. They're just so famous. Who could have guessed? Like Addison Rae. I want this to sink in. Addison Rae is a legitimate pop star. She is on the radio. She will absolutely have a performance at the VMAs this year. I can't imagine she doesn't. I don't have any inside information. I'm not speaking on behalf of MTV. She's going to have probably a defining VMA moment. You know what? Let's just say that right now. It's May 30th, 2025. Addison Rae is going to have a classic defining VMA moment on September 7th at the show this year. Mark my words. Her affinity for Britney Spears, her affinity for sort of like the legacy of pop star, it's going to matter to her to have that type of performance at the VMAs. And you can always tell, by the way, when you work at the VMAs, you can always tell who the show matters to and who it doesn't. Because who the show matters to, they take it very seriously. Because I've worked at every award show, dude. The Grammys, American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, the CMAs, the CMTs, the Academy of Country Music Awards. I mean, you name it, dude. I've been to them all. VMAs have a different energy. Totally different energy. And you can see that with the people that rise to that occasion and make the most of it. Like her outfit on the red carpet last year. Crazy outfit in a good way, like really cool, like show-stopping, like head-turning outfit. She's not even gonna say probably. Addison Rae then takes it to a whole new level at this year's VMAs. Watch this. Mark my words. I want some Addison Rae fan page to clip this out. May 30th, 2025. Kenney predicted it. Steals the show. One of the most memorable performances at this year's VMAs. And I don't mean to put all this pressure on Addison Rae, but I'm trying to convey to you, legitimate pop star. Not like someone who's doing music. Legitimate pop star. And seriously, who'd have thunk it? I remember the first time I ever knew who Addison Rae was the, we had, what's that kid's name? Blueberry Fago, Lil Mosey. He came on TRL. And then right after he came on TRL, he dropped that song. And that song is a really great song. Very catchy song. But it was in large part propelled by Addison Rae's dance. And then he put her in the video, I think with Lil Huddy. And then that video got requested on MTV's Friday live stream. And I was like, who's that? And that was the first time that I had ever understood that dancers were going to become influencers. Like the people who were really good at dancing. Because I thought, that's like, I mean, you know what's really crazy to think about? Go back and watch 90s music videos. Go back and watch Britney Spears music videos. Go back and watch Baby One More Time. Go back and watch Sometimes. Those backup dancers would have been as big as Britney Spears if there was TikTok back then. Isn't that crazy? It's just interesting how time benefits different archetypes and different types of people at different times in history. Like it's a great time right now to be a dancer because of TikTok. Then you were kind of in the background. Like you'd hope, oh my God, I hope I get cast in a music video. And I hope somebody notices me in this music video. And then based off them noticing me, hopefully they have an idea and they have a need on the next video for a backup dancer. Now imagine being that same person today who can dance like that. Bro, millions of followers. Millions of followers. But that was the first time I was like, oh, like who's this backup dancer? Like, who's this girl in Lil Mosey's video? And then that was a big like light bulb moment. I was like, oh, no. Like it's a big deal. Like that person, you could argue, made that song a hit. So it's interesting about Addison, isn't it? Like she was making people hits before she even made a song. So it's very cool. These songs sound great. And these are deep pop songs. I think that's the other thing. If you're like, oh yeah, like anybody can make a pop song. If you're one of those people. And yeah, sometimes you can. I mean, sometimes pop is really great when it's just simple and stupid. And that's why bubblegum pop is a term, right? But I mean, these lyrics, dude. Listen to the lyrics on Fame is a Gun. This is the song that just came out today. Tell me who I am. Do I provoke you with my tone of innocence? Don't ask too many questions. That is my one suggestion. You know I keep it real. I live for the appeal. Knew it from the start. It was the only way to mend my broken heart. She's talking about fame, I think, right? Fame is a gun. I mean, even that is like the depth of that sentiment. Fame is a gun. You know, it's not stupid music. It's not thoughtless music that Addison Rae is making. Don't ask too many questions. This is my one confession. It was never enough. I always wanted more. I always wanted more. This is more soul-bearing than 95 to 99% of pop music in 2025. You know, and it's not coming from that TikTok girl. We have to stop doing that. Can we please stop doing that? Stop assuming that influencers are stupid. Stop. It's all jealousy, I assure you, because I've thought that too in the past. It's just jealousy and envy that they're willing to do the simple thing. And that they did the simple thing and that they were willing and they had a high tolerance of criticism that maybe you don't possess. And maybe I don't possess all the time. That I'm not willing to put myself out there or you're not willing to put yourself out there. They were willing to put themselves out there and they were willing to get laughed at. And they were willing to look goofy. And they were willing to do it every day and be consistent and obviously develop an audience. And they're talented and that goes along with it. But they're not stupid, bro. We have to stop assuming that. The chorus of the song, fame is a gun and I point it blind. Crash and burn, girl, baby, swallow it dry. You got a front row seat and I got a taste of the glamorous life. This is incredible. Who are the songwriters on this song? I'd love to know. Let's see. Can we find out? Fame is a Gun is by Addison Rae and co-written and produced by Addison Rae. Luca Closure, and Elvira Onderfard. So who's Luca Closer? Let's see what she's like into. Yeah, let's see. What has she written? Okay, so she wrote for Ariana Grande. She helped write Diet Pepsi. She helped write Azizam, which is an Ed Sheeran song that missed my desk. She's written for Tate McRae. Oh, so it looks like Conan Gray. This is Luca Closer. I hope I'm saying that right. Closer? I'm bad with S's as it is, Luca. Okay, interesting. And then what is his other name? Elvira Underfard. I have one of my best friends is Swedish. I don't know how to say Swedish names though. I'm not making fun of the name. I just don't know how to say it. Song credits. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Elvira has written with Taylor Swift, bro? Wait, hold on. This says she's okay. Elvira has achieved prominence after remixing the singles Willow, Love Story, Message in a Bottle, Girl at Home by Taylor Swift. Oh, is this like a producer? Huh. Okay. Anyways, that's who Addison is writing with. But I mean, no, somebody can't write this song for Addison, dude. You know what I mean? Like this takes a lot of in that room, in that songwriting session, being like, yo, Addison being like, this is my life. This is what I'm dealing with. And then songwriters maybe helping her craft the messaging of it. But even the other song, Headphones On, I thought this was incredibly raw and revealing. It says, wish my mom and dad could have been in love. Guess some things weren't meant to last forever. I compare my life to the new It Girl. Jealousy's a riptide. It pulls me under. I mean, for the amount of people that will hate on social media influencers, for the amount of people that I'm sure will hate on Addison Rae for whatever reason, dude, that if you could be half as raw and vulnerable and self-reflective as Addison Rae is being in a pop song called Headphones On, you'd be a lot better for it. Everyone would be. So anyways, I mean, this is very real. Lana Del Rey is a fan. She posted this video of her, I guess, riding around and listening to Diet Pepsi. Do you guys see this? It's just like a little, ooh, didn't mean to do that. Can't play that. Can't get pulled down. But yeah, Lana Del Rey, like, you think Lana Del Rey's got bad taste? Although it does sound a little, Diet Pepsi does sound a little bit like a Lana Del Rey song. So I don't know if that's like if I find someone who looks like me good looking. Is that the same thing? I don't know. And then Addison did, I think I can play this. Addison did release a trailer for her debut self-titled album, which is going to get here, I think, in a week or two. Is it this Friday? It's coming up really, really fast, this Addison Rae debut album. I got to be able to play this, right? Like, I hope. Maybe I won't risk it. I might not risk it. I'll show it to you guys, though. I will do that. For everyone watching the live stream and on YouTube. Okay. Let me add it to the scene. I'm getting good at this, guys. There we go. Cool. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So no audio on this. Apologies, but no audio. But we'll watch it. This is for, I think that's Elvira. I think that right there is Elvira. Wait, hey, let's look through this. Okay, so I think this is Elvira from what I just saw on Google. Maybe that's Luca over there. I'm trying to like see who's in this. But as you can see, like this isn't just someone being fed songs, dude. This looks like a real artistic journey. But again, the only reason, I just want to be clear, the only reason people would even discredit Addison Rae is because she was also highly effective at something else, social media, TikTok, also dancing. She was a legitimate dancer, I think. Or am I confusing that with Charlie D'Amelio? Don't quote me on if she was a legitimate dancer. I think she was a dancer. I don't know. So a lot of studio footage for those that are listening to the audio. Whoa! A lot of fire and fuego. Also, people don't realize how hard these people work either, dude. A lot of work goes into this. This is crazy. This is really wild. I mean, yeah, who could have guessed this? Just wild, man. Crazy. Anyways, kind of a bummer that I can't play music on this stuff. Dude, there's definitely like a real Britney Spears energy to her, huh? Yeah. Like a lot. See, isn't it interesting though? Like Addison Rae, when was Addison Rae born? 2000. So Addison Rae was born in 2000 and she like everyone is into this like VHS thing. I think that's just a very interesting aspect of culture right now where why do we prefer that? It's not as good as the thing we have now. It kind of gets back to that crappy music point I was making. Why do we prefer VHS? Why do we prefer analog? Why do people buy vinyl? Why do we see these retro shops? I just saw in Brooklyn a new video store open. It's more of a pain in the ass, excuse me. It's more of a pain in the ass to go to a video store and hope they have what you want and then waste time looking. Not that scrolling on Netflix is any easier, honestly, but and then have a VCR and then put it in the VCR and then rewind the tape and then hopefully it's a good quality and you can see it. But people do prefer that, bro. And I think that's a legitimate question you got to ask. Is like, why is that? Why is that, bro? I just saw Turnstile, the rock band Turnstile, did this big free hometown Baltimore show. It looked ridiculous. Can I get a shot of that actually? How do I get that? Let me bring this up. I'll show you what I'm talking about because I think this is really interesting. This was everywhere. I got to be able to find this, right? Come on. What about like Turnstile Baltimore? Yeah, dude, check this out. Check this out. Check this. Oh, oh, oh. Look at that. See? Sorry. That was loud. But check this out. This is the band Turnstile. And it's exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this. It's shot on VHS. How's that over already? 1 second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. Shot on VHS. Shot on camcorder. 2025. Like in the 90s, we weren't shooting on like black and white. Think about that. I really mean that. Why do people prefer this? You look at the iPhone, I mean, now they're marketing a lot privacy. That's like the new thing. It's like the most private iPhone because everyone's worried about privacy. But most iPhones are like, we have a better camera. The camera's better. But then here we are, just using VHS camcorders. I just think it's kind of wild. Why is that? What is it that we like about this? You know, and it's not just videos, it's Polaroids and disposable cameras and all this stuff. It's very interesting. And I bring this up because Addison had that in her trailer for her album. Very interesting. So, congratulations to Addison Rae. And I think I'm going to do a breakdown of the music video for the YouTube channel, because I think in that I can play the music video. Here, not so much. She's also on the New York Times podcast. I meant to talk about this. I mean, you can't go on the New York Times podcast without ready to have a real deep conversation. The episode's an hour and 23 minutes, dude. So I'm just saying, for the naysayers, for the skeptics of Addison Rae, check yourself before you wreck yourself, man. That's all I'm saying. That album should get here, I think June 6th. I think that's the date. It's next Friday, I believe, is when that's dropping. Another person who's getting a lot of hate these days, I wanted to bring this up, is MGK. And I want to check in with the chat really quick, just for everybody saying what's up. We got Becca May in the house. Sophie is here. Who else is in the house? Gray's Girl, Bud Light Bro, Loud Vision Media, Jeff D. Wills. Shout out to everybody saying what's up tonight. It's good to have you guys here. MGK. MGK is getting a ton of... Oh, let me adjust myself real quick. So MGK dropped this single, Cliche. And everyone's mad. And everyone is always mad at MGK, and I just don't understand why. I guess I could try to understand why. MGK, from like, if you're trying to just, people like narratives and people like simple stories, right? And there are a lot of the same simple stories recycled over and over again in music, right? It's like, you know, dreams coming true, starting from the bottom, watching an artist grow. Or they like, you know, they like to put you in a box. You almost need to be in a box in the entertainment industry for you to have a lot of success, right? Like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a guy who's an action star. That's who he is. You know, it would kind of be weird to see Tom Cruise try to be funny at this point in his career. It would feel weird. Or like, I don't know, play like a foreign guy. Because you're just like, that's Tom Cruise. He's an action star. And maybe he's not the best example because he has done movies like, I mean, his cameo in Tropic Thunder is like so funny if you know that character, which is very comedic role. But that's sort of an outlier. My point is, though, is people like narrative. People like simple to understand people. And MGK as an artist is not simple to understand. He starts as this like alternative rapper, does Warped Tour, signs to Diddy and Bad Boy, a hip hop label. Then he's like rapping, I should say, John Cena to the ring at WrestleMania. He's kind of that like Yellow Wolf. I guess Eminem descendant idea of a white rapper. Then he gets really into hip hop in the 2010s. But then he scores a pop hit with Camila Cabello, interpolating a fastball song from the 90s. So now he's sort of in that pop world. Then he goes into the rock world again, but this time pop punk and emo, resurrects that genre for the mainstream. That stirs the pot. Then from there, does an interview with me at K-Rock in LA and goes, yo, I'm done with this pop punk stuff. I'm going to go back to rap. Doesn't go back to rap. Does a country song with Jelly Roll last year. Now he's going full on pop. I say all of that to say there's nothing wrong with that. He's allowed to do that. It's kind of cool he can do that. It kind of shows how talented the guy is that he can do that. But people are going to be jealous, number one, because he's having success at all this stuff. Okay? Especially artists. Artists are trying to have success with one sound. This dude's having success with rap. When he was a rapper, bro. When he was a rapper, how old was MGK in 2012? 22 years old? 22-year-old kid is rapping John Cena to the ring at WrestleMania in John Cena's biggest match versus The Rock in Miami, Florida. Okay? So he's already killing it at 22 in this rap shit. Then he goes over to pop. Top 10 hit, Camila Cabello. I forget the name of the song. Forgive me. But they did interpolate fastball. Has success there. I didn't even mention he gets into acting. Does a great job playing Tommy Lee in the movie Dirt. Has success there. Picks up the guitar again. 2 back-to-back number 1 rock albums, pop punk albums, emo albums, right? Whatever you want to call it. Has success there. Goes over to Jelly Roll Country. Has success there. And now he's probably going to have success with this song Cliche. And so people don't like that. They don't like that, right? But it's fascinating how much they don't like MGK. Because I will tell you, as somebody who interviews artists for a living, there's a laundry list of less cool people that I've interviewed than MGK. As a matter of fact, I think MGK is one of the cooler people. I'm saying as a person, as just like a conversation, as somebody you're talking to that's not fake, that is a genuine person that deeply cares about the music. He's up there of just people I enjoy talking to. Because that's a big thing. Part of the job of the interviewer is, even if you're not digging the interview, you can't let the audience know you're not digging the interview. You can't let the audience know you're not into this artist. You're not a fan of this artist. That's part of the show, if you will, right? And I think that's what's different about hosting on camera or hosting a podcast or things like that professionally, however you want to deem professionally, and then just to kind of chopping it up with your buddies. I think that's the difference. Is there is a showmanship to it, you know? But then there are interviews that you genuinely enjoy. And I did. I genuinely enjoy talking to MGK. And I can be a cynical guy, and I can kind of be a jerk, and I can kind of be a snob when it comes to music. And I mean, I didn't think that guy was a poser at all. At all. You're allowed to have different interests in the world. You're allowed to be very talented in the world. And you're also allowed to piss a lot of people off. And he kind of does all of it. But the critiques that I'm hearing that are like, why do this? Why do 2 rock albums? Why do a country song with Jelly Roll and then now do a video where you're doing choreography and you're making a pop song? First of all, the song's awesome. The song is awesome. Kudos to the people that wrote it. No Love for the Middle Child wrote it with him. And then is it Emily Rossler? I want to get this right. Emily Rossler. I think it's Emily Rossler. Is it? Let me see. I don't know. Is it? Hold on. Who wrote Cliche with MGK? Oh, Emily Rosen. That is my bad. And then the artist No Love for the Middle Child worked on it too. I thought the melody was very No Love for the Middle Child, for whatever that means. The melody, the hook. So if you like the song, maybe check out No Love for the Middle Child's music. Anyways, here's my other contention with those people that are like, why do this? Why go pop? What do you want this guy to do? What do you want this guy to do? He made 2 back-to-back number 1 rock albums. Okay. That was a moment. That was an era. By the way, Tickets to My Downfall, he also did a movie called Downfall's High. Okay. Did it. And I see this all the time. Like, what did Jay-Z say, right? You want my old shit? Go buy my old albums. To paraphrase Hove. But seriously, you want to listen to rock MGK, bro? You got 2 number 1 albums. 2 number 1 albums that you can listen to whenever you want. Okay? So now what do you want him to do? You want him to go back to rap? Well, he does rap. He drops freestyles on social media, gives you rap. But also rap's in a weird place right now. The biggest rap song at the moment is What the Helly. It's a song called, if you don't know, What the Helly. It's by Rob49. That's his name. It's like the biggest song right now. Justin Bieber apparently like cut a remix to it. I don't get it at all. I mean, I get it if it's just like, I get it as like a fun whatever song. Throw it on in the club. I bet that sounds great at a frat party. I bet that sounds great in the club. I bet that sounds great if you're like working out. I bet that sounds great if you're just, and look, I'm naming a lot of situations in life. Isn't that funny? Some people are like, yeah, I mean, I bet that sounds good, in the car. I bet that sounds good in the club. I bet that sounds good if you're like, playing some video games. Like, it's kind of what most people do every day. So anyways, I'm kind of proving my point or arguing against my point. But it is funny where I'll read these articles of people trying to like apply all this artistry to the song What the Helly. Not everything needs to be broken down like it's like the greatest song in the world, okay? When you go to these music websites. But my point is hip hop is in a weird place. So what do you want to see MGK do in hip hop, dude? Also, he's done hip hop. He's got tons of hip hop records. Go listen to those. You can do that. We do it all the time. We literally listen to old music so much that it charts on Billboard. So just go listen to his old music if you want him to go to rap. I don't know how he factors into rap in 2025. Do you really want to hear an MGK Sexy Red song? I don't necessarily. I'm open to it, but I'm not craving it. Do you really want to hear MGK with, I mean, isn't that terrible? Who's even like going on in rap right now? Boss Man D-Lo? I don't think you want to hear that, I mean, rap is so uninteresting right now. Rappers are going to country. They're not collaborating necessarily with other rappers. Rap is in a really weird place right now. Very weird place. I feel like it's lost its narrative a little bit where so much of the mainstream appeal of rap, and by the way, I'm talking about rap and hip hop as an outsider, as an appreciator of the culture, as somebody who grew up right when it went nuclear in the early 2000s and became pop music. I mean, that's a whole conversation, by the way. I don't want to go off too much of a tangent. I do want to make a point about MGK, but I mean, there was a point, dude, where like more people, I don't know about statistically, but in my friend group, like we would watch BET after school instead of TRL because of how good the music was on BET versus whatever TRL was playing. But I say all this to say that what made rap this global powerhouse, a lot of reasons, but a driving reason was the aspirational nature to it, the motivational nature to it. Bro, when I graduated college in 2014, I was trying to start a business. You know who taught me more about starting a business than anybody in my family, than any book I could have read? Was Jay-Z. Jay-Z's albums. I would listen to Jay-Z's albums and what he would say on there. He's got a song called Anything that samples Annie. Please look that up. If you're in a rut right now, if you need a pick-me-up, if maybe you don't have the best like parent situation going on in your house, or you don't have a mentor or somebody leading you right now, or you just need some direction or some motivation, listen to Anything by Jay-Z. It's a song called Anything. You could also listen to Anything by Jay-Z, but the song is called Anything, literally. And that'll do the trick. And anyways, I think rap now, it's lost a little bit of that. Because I would watch rap videos as a kid. I'd be like, man, I want a car like that, bro. I want that throwback jersey. I want those shoes, bro. And now it's like, by the way, I'm not saying it's not speaking to somebody, bro. And it's not speaking to an audience. But like, it's not really in the top 10 anymore on Billboard. And I'm not saying that's how you got to measure art, but I'm saying for the commercial appeal, it does speak to how many people the music's resonating with. I mean, it sounds like, I get it. There's like all these, flows will evolve, but like some of these dudes sound like they're half asleep, bro. You know what I mean? And I just give pause to like, I don't know any line of entertainment where people ever paid money to watch someone kind of like seemingly half-assed the performance, right? Like if you went to like the circus and then like, the clowns or the this is a weird analogy, but like, like you go to the circus to see lions and tigers, bro. Imagine if there were just like dogs and cats just kind of like roaming around. You kind of be like, this is underwhelming. And that's how I feel about hip hop right now. Is that it's just kind of like underwhelming and it's just like cliche and I don't know. It's interesting. But anyways, how does MGK factor into that? He doesn't. Okay? So now the guy, okay, he's 35 now, which isn't old, but like he's maturing. He's a dad. He's got 2 children. He's already had crossover pop success. He's very relatable to a lot of other 35-year-old people that have children, that have grown up with his music, that are now raising families, that are now in cars. MGK, not going to get played on alternative rock radio anymore. Alternative rock radio has completely abandoned the idea of new music in the way of MGK in that form, right? They'll play new music from legacy acts, Offspring or Yellow Card or Foo Fighters, etc. Right? They'll play that. They'll also play songs that like are new, that are huge, that are getting pop airplay, that have an alternative slant to it. They'll play new songs from like car commercial music bands, bands like you've never heard of. You can't name the band, but you're like, I could imagine that playing at my bank, or I could imagine that in a car commercial during an NFL or NBA game. But they're not going to probably play MGK anymore. And so he's not going to get played at hip hop radio. I don't know if he ever was played at hip hop radio. So what does he do? There's a lane for him at pop radio or hot AC radio, which is adult contemporary. If you don't know, it's basically at this point, top 40 and adult contemporary are so similar in terms of playlisting that you could probably you could double dip, but it's a little older skewing. Top 40 will be a little younger skewing, but again, I can't really think of an artist right now that you would play on hot AC that you can't play on top 40 or vice versa. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, top 40 and hot AC are like right now are probably like Tate McRae, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Teddy Swims, that sort of thing. Post Malone, when he has a record, is probably top 40 hot AC. So I think it's brilliant for MGK. Brilliant. And I think it's the right move. And I think the song's great. And it's like, the song is great. It just really is. It's got almost like a Grease Lightning like charm to it. I don't know. The guy's not taking himself too seriously in the video. He's like just having a good time. I truly, if you're mad about this, I think you gotta find a hobby. Call a loved one. Paint. Read a book. But move on from hating on MGK. Cliche is a great song. This is a big story. Ariana Grande is going to be in a new movie. This just broke today. This literally just broke today. Meet the Parents. It's getting a reboot. And I got all the details for you. Where the hell is my hyperlink? You remember hyperlink? Do you remember we used to call them hyperlinks in school? Anyways, Ariana Grande. I'll bring this up for the folks at home that are watching along on YouTube and everywhere else that we are streaming. Give me a moment. Shout out to everybody watching live. I appreciate you guys. We'll hang out at the end. I want to get to as much news as possible. All right, so Ariana Grande is going to star, which, by the way, did you know that starring is different than being in a movie? If you star in a movie, it's not a matter of it's not semantics. It's a fundamental, it's different. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Starring is you're one of the main people in the movie. Starring in the new Meet the Parents sequel. So following last year's Wicked, Ariana Grande is not only a mega pop star, but an Oscar-nominated film star. Turns out the next acting gig she'll take on is part of the classic comedy franchise Meet the Parents. I love when I read, the host voice really comes out. The John Hamburg directed project will include the original cast: Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller, Terry Polo, and Blythe Danner. Don't remember them. The plot for the upcoming film is unknown, but according to The Hollywood Reporter, one storyline, quote, revolves around the son of Stiller and Polo's characters who gets engaged to a ball-busting woman who seems all wrong for him. Sources say Grande will play the fiance. I think that's perfect. I've always loved Ariana Grande. Has got such a great, irreverent personality for a pop star. I love her personality. The film is scheduled for November 25th, 2026. She's been on the hunt for a comedy project, allegedly turning several options from Universal, Warner Brothers, and Sony. Last fall, she told Las Culturistas that she would prioritize acting in the coming decade. Quote, I'm going to say something so scary. It's going to scare the absolute shit out of my fans and everyone. I love them and they will deal and we will be here forever. I'm always going to make music. I'm always going to go on stage. I'm always going to do pop stuff. I pinky promise, but I don't think doing it at the rate that I've been doing it for the past 10 years is where I see the next 10 years. Ariana Grande, can I tell you a little secret, girl? More people need to say and do exactly what you just said and are going to do. Drake, this is what you should have done, bro. This is what you should have done. Now, I know if Drake sees the clip or somebody sees this clip that is a Drake fan, they're going to go, Drake's a zillionaire. He just got his 10th diamond record, bro. Who the fuck are you? What the fuck do you know about anything? Why the fuck would Drake listen to you? I don't know. I don't fucking care, dude. I'm living my life. I'm on fucking the internet right now just fucking talking about shit. So you don't have to listen to me. But Drake should have walked away on top. Hindsight being 2020, of course. But should have walked away when he was on top instead of delineating into this like mobster era, right? Where he kind of completed the narrative arc of Degrassi, underdog, everyone doubted him, hardest worker in the room, grinding, started from the bottom. All these people are doing him wrong. Now he's proven them wrong. Now he's the number one guy in music. So let's timestamp it like 2018-ish, Scorpion, right? Right around there. If he had just walked away there and been like, dude, I'm an amazing actor. Drake's an amazing actor. Drake is really funny. Really funny. Drake, I think, could be a big star in Hollywood. Was a big star. He was a child actor on a hugely successful show that I don't even fully appreciate because I didn't get the Disney Channel or whatever it aired on. Whatever that show aired on, Degrassi, I didn't get that. I remember like hearing winds of it as a kid, like girls from other towns watching it. But I didn't get Degrassi. But from what I understand, it was a really big show. It was a very popular show, especially in Canada. Guy was very famous as a teenager. Was a teen star. He's very funny every time he hosts SNL. He's very funny when there's skits in his music videos. Very funny on social media. If he had walked away and gone into Hollywood, man, like, I don't know if he would have put himself in the position to lose that confrontation with Kendrick Lamar. Because the crazy thing about the confrontation with Kendrick Lamar that nobody talks about, Drake is not a, you know what, the word that I don't want to say on this because I think that's going to get us in trouble. The word, I don't even want to say it, the P word. Drake is not a P word, bro. Okay? He's not. There's no evidence he's a P word. There's none. And that's what ended the battle. Everyone was singing along calling this guy a P word. When he wasn't a P word, there was no evidence that he was a P word. Now, in a sport like hip hop, where everything is about fact, everything is like, you got to be real, bro. You know, you got to really have that, right? Think about 50 Cent versus Ja Rule. 50 Cent was like, you are a pretend gangster, right? and then went after Ja Rule and kind of took Ja Rule out of the game. You know how I know that? I have a lot of memories of loving Ja Rule music from 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. I have very few memories of Ja Rule after 2003. And who comes out in 2003? 50 Cent, right? Because 50 Cent was the real deal, bro. He really was that guy that was living the life that he was rapping about. And that's going to win out every time. Authenticity is going to win out every single time. You think about Jay-Z versus Nas, man, and Jay-Z he's got the line in Takeover, if you know that song, don't be the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. What that talks about is that Summer Jam 2001, Jay-Z was premiered Takeover, the first two verses of that song, and he put pictures of Mobb Deep in a ballerina outfit from when the members of Mobb Deep were taking dancing classes at 8 years old. He put that up on the screen. And that line is in this song, Takeover, and he has the proof. Now, I'm ranting like an old man right now because there's a precedent in hip-hop beef where you want to expose the other person. Look at Pusha T. Pusha T beat Drake in that beef because he was like, yo, you have a kid. And it was true. Drake had a kid, and it was shocking. And we're like, oh my God, he got you. He exposed you, Drake, right? But here we are, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Kendrick says you're a P word. He's not a P word. He's not. All of Drake, go back and listen to Push-Ups. How does Drake lose that battle? Go back and listen to the Family Matters. Go back to listen to those. Those are like, I don't know about certain particular accusations in that song, but a lot of what he's saying is based in reality. So then you go, well, then how does Kendrick Lamar beat Drake with a lie? And here's your answer. People were ready to turn on Drake. That's the harsh truth. That's like the difficult thing to understand when you take a step back. You're like, yeah, Drake isn't a P word. So like, why do we all side with Kendrick? That song is maybe the catchiest hip hop song since The Real Slim Shady. I mean, that song is so catchy. Not Like Us. That song is so catchy, children could sing it. And that's why I use the example of The Real Slim Shady. I was a child and learned all those naughty words in that song because it was like a nursery rhyme. So how could he have done that? How could he have beaten Drake with just a lie? Right? Here's Drake coming with all these facts, right? These great songs, intensities. Like, I mean, Drake is going down the list if you go back and listen to Push-Ups. Just dissecting everybody, going at everybody that went against him. And a lot of the time, you got to listen to those records. You go, man, Drake's got a point, bro. He did help a lot of these people, bro. Anyways, you take a step back and you go, oh, it's because everyone was ready to turn on Drake. Because we get sick of things, bro. We get sick of everything. You can only be interested in something for so long. Everything. We talked a lot about nostalgia earlier tonight. It's like all these old sodas you miss. Oh, Pepsi Blue, bro. Yo, I wish they would bring back Pepsi Blue. Yo, Sprite Remix was the best. And I'm guilty of this too. You know why they stopped making those sodas? Because we stopped drinking those sodas, bro. The classic one I deal with every day of my life, bro, seemingly, right? Oh man, why doesn't MTV play music videos anymore? Because we stopped watching music videos, bro. That's why they stopped playing music videos. We get sick of things. And I think people got just tired of Drake. They were ready to turn on Drake. And I don't know if people really bought Drake being like this like criminal. Because a lot of his music became about like criminal activity, which is what hip hop was becoming at the time, lyrically, in the early 2020s. And so you could argue to stay relevant, to stay fresh. That's what Drake was doing. Drake was like, I'm going to do that. But it's a weird trajectory to understand that in the mind. You're like, wait, okay. So like you started off and maybe you didn't have a lot of money, but you were a child actor. were in commercials as a kid. I'm not saying you were rich. I'm not saying you had it easy. But, like, I gotta imagine that's a better life than most. Then you get on. You sign a very lucrative record deal. 22 years old. How old is Drake when he signs with Young Money? 22? 23? Anyways. And then has a bonanza of a music career. I mean, just like, he's got his own jet. Anyways, very legitimate business. It's very hard to understand the trajectory to go from that to then getting into crime, which lyrically, that was like the narrative. And it started with analogies, like crime analogies. And then it just kind of got to a point where it was like, it transcended analogies and it was like claiming to spin blocks or toe tag people. And I just think that's a really hard narrative to understand. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not here to debate whether or not that's the life that Drake's leading. I just think it's a strange narrative to understand, because the classic narrative in hip hop is like, like Jay-Z. Again, I'll go back to Jay-Z. He talks about back in the day, he's like, I'm paraphrasing, but he talks in songs about, I sold drugs. So you don't do that. Like, I had to go through that. Don't you do that? And there's a lesson learned there. I think that's a big thing in stories. Like, we need to see the hero learn lessons and conquer whatever obstacles the hero faced. It's very rare, if not weird, for the hero to never learn the lesson. It's like Drake talking today about women treating him badly or not seeing his value, or like, treating him wrong, or him trying to get revenge on a girl. That rules at 25. When he's 25, you're like, man, I'm 25 too. And man, like, that's what I'm going through now too with these women. But you go through some bad relationships in life. You go through some toxic situations. You go through dating the wrong girl. You go through living the wrong kind of life. Drake is almost 40. He's not 40. Drake is 38 now. It's tough from a narrative perspective to understand, how has the hero not learned this lesson? Because he's like, and who are these women, bro? Who are these women that are treating a guy as successful as Drake badly? Like, who are these women not getting the 411? Like, yo, don't mess this up and you're set, bro. Don't mess this up and you're sitting pretty the rest of your life here. So you have this hero that isn't learning lessons. And then you also like have this hero that built this amazing career in a legitimate business and now wants to get into crime. Like, that never happens, at least not in a story arc. And so that then leads to a point where people in the industry are probably getting sick of this in terms of his peers. Like, yo, like, really? And then he drops first person shooter. I don't even think he mentioned Kendrick in the song. And then that sets Kendrick off. And you got to imagine that's the catalyst for Kendrick having, I think that's his best album, this GNX album. But also it's probably his most like mainstream album if you think about it. So again, consider the messenger when I say that. But if Drake had just walked away in 2018, he wouldn't have had to delineate into this crime era that I think sets up the Kendrick era. And Drake's going to be fine, by the way. Nokia is a smash, top 10 record. Didn't beat Kendrick though, right? Luther stayed at number 1 with Kendrick and SZA. Nokia, you could tell, was positioned to try to go number 1. He waited until consumption of Luther went down a little bit, not to get too geeky with chart terms, drops the video for Nokia, and it still doesn't do it, peaks at number 2. So, again, that's better than 99.9999999% of other artists. He's peaking at number 2 on the Billboard US Hot 100. But it's the adversary still won, even in that confrontation. So you think about these things when you're a music nerd like me. But Ariana Grande, which is how we got off on that whole thing, Ariana Grande going to film is great. And this is also, I want you to take something from this that you can put in your own life. It's okay to change directions. It's okay to go, dude, I did this thing, whether it's a job, a relationship, a friendship, a living situation, whatever. And you're like, or career, a bona fide whole career, if you want to pivot there, you did that and you'll always have done that. And at a certain point, like there's not more you can do there. And you only have so many days on this planet. Go do something else. So it sounds like that's what Ariana Grande is doing with this this new movie, Meet the Parents. And I think she's gonna be great in that role as sort of this like overbearing fiance. I think she's gonna be really, really funny. I made a prediction earlier tonight on the stream that Addison Rae is gonna have this show stealing VMA moment at the VMAs on September 7th this year. Another prediction, Ariana Grande, runaway success as a comedic actress when this comes out in the fall. Sounds like Thanksgiving, maybe 2026. So like 18 months from right now. That's pretty crazy. 18 months from right now is November 2026. Wild. Now, this made me think of something though. Okay. And this is a conversation that we need to have. Ben Stiller and music and the strange history that Ben Stiller has had with music. It's a very strange history. It's even stranger with music videos. Okay, listen to this. Ben Stiller, okay, you probably know, was just recently in the SZA video. Now that is not only his first foray into music videos. Far from it. He has maybe the most random music video resume of anyone, let alone a successful actor, director. Listen to Ben Stiller's resume of music videos that I'm not talking about directing, producing. No. That he is physically in the music video for. Listen to this. You're not prepared. Ben Stiller was in the SZA video. Ben Stiller was in the Rollin' Limp Bizkit video. Pulls up with Steven Dorff in the nice car. Throws Fred Durst the keys. He's on the Limp Bizkit Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water album. He's like high. If you've never heard that, it's incredible. Go listen to that. It's the last track, the outro. I don't know how it looks on streaming. He ends the album with all these voicemails, and one of them is just high off his ass, Ben Stiller, leaving, I guess, Fred Durst the voicemail. He's in the Bad Boy for Life video with Diddy. Goes to Diddy's house, makes fun of Diddy's name, complains about a golf ball going through his window. He's in Tribute by Tenacious D. He's in Taylor by Jack Johnson. He's like literally like the co-star in the Jack Johnson video. He's in a video called Closer by the band Travis. And again this year, Drive by SZA. What is going on with Ben Stiller and music videos? And can you think of a celebrity who has been in more music videos than Ben Stiller? That's your challenge. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Let's talk. I do want to check in on the chat. What's going on, chat? El Bud Light, bro. The Bud Light, bro. Right on. Big news. Very big news in the world of music today. And it's funny. I knew something was up because there was so much speculation that Taylor Swift was going to announce something at the American Music Awards on Monday. And she has a great relationship with Dick Clark Productions. She has a great relationship really with all the award shows. She's been such a great partner to award shows. And that's sort of an industry speak way of saying, you know, she always shows up when she can. She always does a great job. She always supports. She always eventizes and brings value to the award shows that she partakes in. I mean, dude, I'm grateful that she has such a large spot in her heart for the VMAs every year. I remember it was funny last year at the VMAs, we were taping Something with Me at the top of the carpet where the red carpet starts at the VMAs. And when you're the house, when it's your show, you know, you like no one's more important than you, in the sense of no one's going to stop me from filming or what they're filming. It's not really about me. If they're trying to shoot something with me at the VMAs, like that's first priority because it's MTV's show. So it's home field advantage, to use a sports analogy. And so we were about to shoot something with me at the top of the VMA carpet last year. And then out of nowhere, they were like, stop, stop, stop. And I was like, for what? Like, is the president here? Like what? Like, is there something bad happening? But it was for Taylor Swift. And rightfully so, because she was arriving and we needed to get that shot of her arriving. And so the cameraman quickly went to there, got Taylor arriving and her on the red carpet and the step and repeat, whatever. But she's just, she's been so kind to MTV and so loyal and such a great partner. And for a show that I look forward to being a part of every year. And I'm very grateful I've been able to be a part of that show for so long. She makes it so much bigger. And I know it's not lost on me, and I bet it's not lost on anybody else at MTV either. So anyways, when she didn't show up at the AMAs, the American Music Awards, to make this rumored announcement about Reputation, Taylor's version, I thought something was up. And so today, we all found out what was up. And you will now too, once I put this up on this screen. I think I need a break for some agua. Need to wet the whistle a little bit. You know what I'm saying, partners? So, there you go. Taylor Swift regains her masters, shares Reputation update for Taylor's version. And this was the picture that she shared across social media. Her with all the albums there, and obviously arms up in celebration, as she should, because what a triumphant moment this must have been. This is coming from stereogum.com, right? 6 years ago, music manager Scooter Braun's company, Ithaca Holdings, bought Big Machine Records, the label that released Taylor Swift's first 6 albums, in a deal worth $300 million. Swift quickly responded, writing that the deal was a, quote, worst-case scenario that left her sad and grossed out. She had wanted the chance to buy back her old master recording, and the deal meant that couldn't happen. As a response, Swift launched her campaign of Taylor's version re-recordings, and that has proven to be massively successful, further cementing her place as the dominant pop star of our time. Today, Swift announces that she has now acquired the rights to her entire back catalog she won. Page 6 reported on rumors of this deal last week, and now it has happened. Variety reports that Swift bought the rights from Shamrock Capital, the company that bought them from Ithaca Holdings. All right, so Ithaca Holdings, Scooter Braun's company, bought her masters as part of, by the way, a record label that owned it. I think that gets lost a little bit. I don't know if it changes the story at all, but I think it does get lost a little bit. I guess in 6 years, then they sold it to this other place, Shamrock Capital, and for an undisclosed 9-figure sum. So how many? That's 7 figures. Wait a minute, 9 figures? Is that $1 billion? Hold on. No, 9 figures is not $1 billion. Wow. Okay, hold on. Give me an example of a 9-figure number. Bro, a 9-figure number is like, it had a minimum, bro, of $100 million. Oh, well, I mean, but they bought it for $300 million. So it was already a 9-figure number. Okay. I'm getting, yeah, that's making more sense now. So they had to have made money on it, right? I bet you it was like $500 million. I bet you that Shamrock bought it because remember, Ithaca Holdings bought it for $300 million. So then Shamrock probably bought it for $400 million. And then Maybe she bought it for $500 million. So every step of the way, somebody's making $100 million. That's so crazy, dude. So crazy. Oh, it's so nuts. In her letter, Swift says that she now owns all of her albums as well as her videos, artwork, concert films, and unreleased tracks. I didn't even think of that. Like the music videos. Like who owns that? Along the way, she talks about what's been going on with the Taylor's version re-recordings of the two albums that she hasn't relaunched. I can't read tonight. I apologize. She says that she's completed work on re-recording her self-titled 2006 debut, and she says, I really love how it sounds now. Okay, so my prediction, I don't know if this is like news to the Swifties, right? And maybe they've already figured this out. I'm sure they have. She's got to wait until next year, 20 years, to do the Taylor's version of the debut, right? It wouldn't make sense to not do it in 2026. But as for the new version of 2017's Reputation, it doesn't really exist. This is what fans were talking about. There have been rumors of Reputation Taylor's version for a while, and those were recharged when Taylor's re-recorded version of Look What You Made Me Do soundtracked is seen on a recent episode of The Handmaid's Tale. In her letter, though, Swift writes that the record, quote, couldn't be improved upon redoing it, though she will probably come out with the unreleased vault tracks from that time period. I wonder what that's about. I mean, maybe she truly thinks that it couldn't be improved. I don't know that record well enough. I remember when it came out. I was at Billboard when it came out. We covered it like crazy. We actually went to can we bring that up? I guess we can bring that up, right? Hold on. We went to a Reputation pop-up when that came out in Manhattan. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I got it. This is funny as hell, bro. Hold on. So I'm going to try to switch something out right now. Give me a moment, guys. Bear with us. How do I... Yeah. Okay, check this out. There we go. So there's a little Kevin Kenney. And yeah, so this is like the pop-up for Reputation in Lower Manhattan. And man, it is crazy, like, what a big deal this was. You know what's a really funny story about this is that we recorded this entire thing, and then my camera guy was like, oh man, I don't have any audio or something like that. And so we had to do it literally all over again. So we recorded like an entire thing, and then we had to just literally do it all over again, which is kind of crazy. But this was like a whole activation for the Reputation album, which was a very big deal at the time, man. Very big deal at the time. All her outfits and stuff from like the music videos, which I thought was cool. Was that like a Judas Priest outfit? What is that? Oh, I forgot about this, where she's like a zombie. That's funny. Yeah, and the throne. I think I got to sit on the throne. Oh, there I am, sitting on the throne. That's funny, dude. Anyways, me talking to Swifties. I wonder where they are now. All these people. I Heart TS. Yeah, they have the shirts. So yeah, if you're listening to the audio product of this, we're just watching a clip of this. And yeah, so Reputation, I wonder what it is about that album that she doesn't want to redo. There's something about the album she doesn't want to redo. So yeah, and here is her whole comment that I gotta re-bring up, I think, on the live stream. But anyways, I think there's such a lesson to be learned from this whole ordeal that Taylor Swift went through. That's now 6 years old. Started in 2019 when Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings bought her catalog for $300 million. She was shocked. As she said, she was, quote, grossed out by it. She turned it into a massive positive. She re-recorded her records, which really wasn't a thing. It's a thing now because of Taylor Swift. You have to understand. So it's a thing now in 2025 to do that. You'll see this on your release radars if you listen to Spotify. You'll see this in your algorithms. If you listen to like an older band, they will say they'll re-release it or re-record it so that they own that. But no one was really doing that. I'm not saying Taylor Swift was the first person to do that. What I'm saying is that she popularized it for a whole generation. And she really reinvented herself and became the biggest artist in the world because she was never fading away. But if you go back to, is it Lover? Is that the 2019 album? Like she was becoming an elder stateswoman of the pop music scene. And this completely reinvigorated her career. And it could have distracted her. It could have made her depressed. It could have just made her lose resolve. It could have just made her feel beat up. And she could have resented the music industry, and she could have let that resentment pour over and boil over into unproductiveness. And she could have became a worse version of herself. And she didn't do that. She literally re-recorded, sort of reclaimed her narrative, took back control of her career and the story arc of it, made herself bigger than she had ever been, bigger than maybe anyone had ever been. I mean, how much money did the Eras Tour generate? A record $2 billion. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour made a record $2 billion. That's incredible. And then now, because it was so successful, she can now buy back everything that she lost when Ithaca Holdings came and bought it. And she has more money than that $300 million now, where she can go and she can pay for it back. So think about that. I think there's a great lesson there in terms of whenever you have negativity in your life, whenever I have negativity in my life, whenever anybody has negativity in our lives, what can you do to reconcile it? What's in your control? How can you turn any negative into a positive? And how can I win this situation? I mean, that is one of the greatest stories in music history, if you really break it down step by step. She gets her heart broken 6 years ago when someone other than her buys her catalog, her music, her hard work, in her estimation, her life. This is her life. This is literally her life. She does not have a normal life. Her life is predominantly this. And somebody bought that for maybe money she may not have had at the time. Maybe she did. Maybe it wasn't even a matter of that. I don't know. But for a large sum of money, $300 million. Again, doesn't quit on herself, doesn't get down in the dumps for too long, comes up with the brilliant idea, I will re-record my music. And then, by the way, by being such a great partner to the music industry, everyone follows suit. SiriusXM only plays Taylor's versions of songs, if you ever notice, right? They don't have to do that. They do that because she's a great partner to them and has been a great partner to them. She's a great partner, as I said, to the VMAs, to MTV, to Dick Clark Productions, and all the award shows they do. Great partner to the Grammys. Always very lively at these award shows. Cares. Obviously puts on amazing shows on the road around the world. And so she made this incredible decision to re-record this music. And then the tour, just the tour made $2 billion, which is 3x what was paid for her catalog 6 years ago. And now, not only does she have the $2 billion ticket sales and the record there, I'm not saying that all went to Taylor Swift, but she has that feather in her cap, right? That accomplishment, that record. It is a record. She has these new re-recorded albums that are new pieces of art and she owns. And now she has the thing that she feared she may not have ever gotten back. I mean, that is a conclusive W for Taylor Swift. And whether you like her music or not, should be really, really, really happy for Taylor Swift, the person. I think that's awesome. That's how I feel about that. A lot going on in the world of music today, though. Speaking of Taylor Swift, I didn't want to talk about this. It's a big anniversary. It's the 2-year anniversary of the Karma remix between Taylor Swift and Ice Spice. Now, this had to be one of the most of the moment collaborations of all time. And I love a great of the moment collaboration. And let's define that. What is an of the moment collaboration? An of the moment collaboration is a collaboration typically, we'll get very granular here because it's very interesting when you really dive into this conversation. An of the moment collaboration in the world of music is typically when you have a legacy established megastar with the hot new artist of the moment. And what makes it an of the moment collaboration in hindsight is when that of the moment artist doesn't become necessarily, and it's still early for Ice Spice. This isn't me dragging Ice Spice. Doesn't become in the long run this massive name like maybe we thought they were going to become when this of the moment collaboration happened. Hopefully that makes sense. To me, this just is the most 2023 thing I've ever heard of. Ice Spice and Taylor Swift on a Karma remix. Ice Spice is great, by the way. I'm just saying, this not seem like so random now in hindsight? So it got me thinking of what are some of the greatest of the moment collaborations. And there's a guy who, through my research, I didn't even realize is the king of the moment collaboration. He has a song with one of the biggest rock bands of all time, and he's not a rock artist. He's not even an alternative artist. He's not even really a pop artist. He's a rapper. And he's a rapper that if you were not around in 2009, 2010, and that's basically it. I mean, that's the run. You don't even know this guy. I bet you don't even know this guy. If you weren't listening to music in 2009 actively or 2010 actively, if you weren't listening to hip hop music, pop music, I mean, he had a big pop hit. Yeah, he had a really big pop hit. But you don't know this guy. I believe he's from Atlanta, has a song with Weezer. How many rappers has Weezer collaborated with? Not many, if any, other than this guy. Who remembers B.O.B.? Now, I think he's like a flat earth guy now. By the way, flat earth is fascinating. I'm not condoning flat earth. I'm not endorsing flat earth. I'm saying flat earth is fascinating. Have you, and before you jump down my throat, have you ever looked into flat earth? Before you judge me, bro, have you ever thought about flat earth for a minute? It is interesting. And sometimes that's fine. Something can be not true and still interesting. I have a friend who's legitimately into flat earth. Legitimately into flat earth. And I was asking him, like, what do you mean it's a flat earth, dude? Like how would we not know? And he talked about depth perception and things of that sort. And, math that I don't understand. And I'll be honest, I don't think he understands. But my $1 million question with flat earth was like, well, what happens when you get to the end? So I didn't have the chance to ask my friend this. It occurred to me after he was talking to me about flat earth. So I Googled it and I was like, how do flat earth people explain the end of the flat earth? So apparently flat earth people, burping a lot tonight, excuse me. Apparently flat earth people, they think of the earth, or they believe the earth is like a snow globe. So it's like flat, but then there's like this curved, I guess, glass enclosure. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a flat earther. I'm trying. I'm doing my best here, guys, as a newbie. But the way that they explain the edges is the edges are all ice. So I guess that's Antarctica and that's the North or South Pole. And these are these great walls that you can't get past or something. So I've never been to those places. So I don't know if that's the case or not. But maybe what gets even more fascinating is if you go to Antarctica, you go to the North Pole, you go to the South Pole, and if like the cliffs are like unimaginably high, like no one can scale them. Do we know if that's true? Is there footage? Hold on. Antarctica? I don't even know how to spell it. Because people go there, don't they? Hold on. Okay. I hope this is real. We're going to bring this up for those that are watching live. Let's watch this. Hold on. Bear with the newbie. Okay. So this is apparently Antarctica. And this is the wall. This is the wall that flat earthers say encapsulate the earth or keep the water in. It's got to be so cold. I guess what? Whales don't get cold? Do whales not get cold? Aren't they mammals? We get cold. We're mammals. Or are they not mammals? Don't laugh at me. Wow, we got penguins up there, dude. Look at the penguins. I love animals. Okay, but these seem mountable. They don't seem insurmountable. They seem surmountable. Is that what I'm trying to say? Jellyfish are up there? Okay. So like if this was like the Empire State Building, I'm kind of into the flat earth theory. But oh, are they saying that like you can't go past here? Is that what they're saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like here, that's actually a pretty good shot of what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Okay, so are they saying that like past there is a wall or something? Like that past there won't lead you to the other side of the world? Has anyone done that? Has anyone crossed Antarctica? Is that even possible? I don't care so much about the ocean, guys. I'll be honest. I just want to see the glaciers. Wow. Dude, that is pretty gnarly. Sorry. It is pretty crazy, though. Interesting. Interesting. I want to look up. You know what I want to look up? I want to look up how many people die in Antarctica every year. How many people die in Antarctica every year? It's difficult to give a precise number of deaths in Antarctica annually as the continent's population fluctuates significantly based on the time of year. However, it's generally safe to say the number of deaths per year is relatively small. All right, let's go to Reddit. Less than one a year? Wow. Do people live in Antarctica? Do people? No, there are no permanent human residents or indigenous population in Antarctica. While the continent is the only one without a native human population, thousands of people live and work there temporarily, primarily as scientists support. Really? So, like, are there restaurants in Antarctica? No, there are no traditional restaurants in Antarctica in the sense of commercial establishments open to the public. However, research stations and expedition ships do have dining facilities, often with chefs preparing a variety of meals for the real residents or passengers. These facilities can range from simple cafeterias to high-end dining experiences. Interesting. Wow. Very interesting. Anyways, we got off on this whole thing because B.O.B. is now a flat earther and probably making music somewhere, and we wish him well. But B.O.B. back in the day had a song with Weezer, bro, called Magic. And I thought that was crazy. And I was like, that's probably like the most, or like Iggy Azalea had a song with Britney Spears. That's weird in hindsight. Snoop Dogg has a song with Psy. That's weird in hindsight, right? Not weird off the back of Gangnam Style. Iggy Azalea and Britney Spears, not weird off the back of Fancy. or Black Widow, but weird now. Kind of like how Ice Spice and Taylor Swift, not weird in 2023, kind of weird now, right? But then I found out something even more shocking about B.O.B. Something even more shocking than Flat Earth. Something even more shocking than the fact that there are no restaurants, we just found out, in Antarctica. B.O.B. has a song with Taylor Swift. B.O.B. has a song with Taylor Swift. That is crazy to me. That is like, B.O.B. could walk down any street in America right now and nobody would recognize B.O.B. Be fine. You could walk by him in the cereal aisle of your local supermarket and you'd have no idea that that guy grabbing some Captain Crunch has a song with Taylor Swift. So what song, may you ask? I'm going to tell you. The song is called Both of Us. Both of Us is a song by an American rapper, B.O.B., released on May 22nd, 2012. So this is like peak Taylor Swift, bro. This is like right before 1989 Taylor Swift. This is like right in the crux of Red, her album Red. This is right before, I should say, We Are Never Getting Back Together, Taylor Swift. It's the third single from his second album, Strange Clouds. The song features vocals from American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. So it's not like she just like wrote the song. She's on the song. The lyrics of Both of Us talk about racism and bullying. Okay, so it's like a serious song. It was Swift who came up with the idea for the collaboration. Taylor Swift came up with the idea after she visited B.O.B.'s label Grand Hustle Records. What was that meeting about? The rapper explained, she came to Atlanta and she hit up Grand Hustle. I wasn't there. Tip was there, and I eventually linked with her in Dallas, and the rest is history. Is Tip T.I.? Yes. Okay. So Taylor Swift had a meeting with T.I. This is a very interesting story. This is not the first time Swift contributed to a hip-hop song. Her other collaborations include a song with T-Pain at the... Oh, my God. Her other collaboration was with T-Pain at a 2009 CMT Music Awards. Bro, I think that's the Joke song. Is that not the Joke song? Do you know about her Joke song with T-Pain back in the day? And inviting T.I., Nicki Minaj, and Flo Rida to her Speak Now World Tour in 2011. Okay. That's her contributions in hip-hop, I guess. The music video was directed by Jake Nava, who is an amazing music video director. Did Usher Burn back in the day. Did Khalees Milkshake. What else did Jake Nava do? Tons of music videos. Lindsay Lohan Rumors. So he did this video. This was a legitimate song, guys. Taylor Swift and B.O.B. had a song. The music video was released on June 27, 2012. B.O.B. announced the video on Twitter. That sounds very 2012, doesn't it? Sharing a photo and a release date timeframe on the set of the hashtag Both of Us music video in Nashville with @TaylorSwift13. I guess the video begins with B.O.B. standing before a small American flag, then cuts to Swift singing the song's hook in a dark lit pool hall. God, this sounds nothing like the Taylor of now. She should be different, but this is so interesting. B.O.B. then takes the train tracks and streets to deliver his verses while Swift croons the hook in a picturesque field while donning a white cotton dress. This sounds very millennial, very 2012. Footage of the artist is interspersed with scenes of life in Nashville's less glamorous neighborhoods like tatted locals, cowboy boot-wearing young women, shirtless youths playing in sprinklers, teens kissing, a mobile home. This leaves viewers knowing that the video isn't glamorous, but instead leaves viewers appreciating the little things in life. It's not about the money. It's understanding that a romp through a sprinkler or a good game of billiards is enough to take you away from the mundane moments of everyday life. All right. As the first chorus proceeds, Swift is shown singing at a field covered with the dandelions and flowers. That sounds very Taylor Swift. And several shots of B.O.B. and Swift are interspliced. As the video closes out, viewers are left with a sort of fantasy with B.O.B. and Swift reimagined as the every man and every woman living simple life in rural Tennessee. Of course, neither one of them do that. much like the folks in the video. At the end, B.O.B. is seen standing in a driveway with a car backing up and B.O.B. staring at it. I guess, I don't know. Is that Taylor leaving? Anyways, how did this song do? Was this song a success? Let's find out. The song was successful in Australia and New Zealand, charting within the top 10 in both Australia and New Zealand. It debuted on the Australian singles chart at number 46 and eventually peaked at number 5. The song also peaked at number 10 in New Zealand. The song sold 143,000 copies in its first week, along with the album release, debuting at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was a top 20 hit song in the United States and became the week's top debut. The single sold over 1 million digital copies by November 2017. So not only, just to recap, does B.O.B. have a song with Taylor Swift, he has a hit song with Taylor Swift, he has a platinum song with Taylor Swift, and he has a top 20 charting song on the Billboard Hot 100 with Taylor Swift. That's crazy. Anyways, and Swift performed the song with B.O.B. on April 19th, 2013 in the State Farm Arena in Atlanta when the rapper was invited as a surprise guest on her Red Tour. That is crazy. And yeah, that is just nuts to me that B.O.B. has maybe the most of the moment collab of all time. And you could argue that was 2 years after his moment, which was like Paper Plane. Is it Paper Planes? Airplanes. It's called Airplanes. And then Beautiful Girls All Over the World. You remember that song, Bruno Mars? That's how I found out who Bruno Mars was. Isn't that crazy? That's how I found out who Bruno Mars was. Kind of wild as I'm looking at your comments. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night to you and yours. We've been live for 2.5 hours, and I still got a lot to talk about. I might do 2 streams tonight because I got to go to the bathroom, bro. And I'm trying to think of what can I do what can you guys do when I go to the bathroom? Why don't you just wait? I don't know. Yeah, I think you're going to wait. I'm going to put up a little message, and when I come back, I have got big news on Sydney Sweeney. Yes, that's true, gentlemen. I have big news on Sydney Sweeney. How do you do like a little intermission here? Let's see. Do these just like loop? I'm trying to give you something to look at, bro. All right. Let me put that up on screen. Where's this? All right. Be right back. Oh, guys. Water, good. All right. I told you I had some news on Sydney Sweeney. All right. What am I doing here? Is that good? This mic is, not going to lie, it's a little annoying. All right. Sydney Sweeney back in the news. And this is kind of gross. I'm not going to lie. All right. So, Sydney Sweeney back in the news. And this story is kind of gross. It's kind of weird. It's makes me feel yucky inside. Sydney Sweeney is part of this soap brand called Squatch. Hold on. Sydney Sweeney is part of the soap brand Dr. Squatch. Excuse me, not Squatch, Dr. Squatch. That Squatch went to med school, and you're going to call him Doctor. Okay? Those Mr. and Mrs. Squatch did not send little Squatch off to med school, off to undergrad, didn't sit through all those tests. This Squatch took the MCAT and passed. Okay? And what did he do with that degree? He started a soap company. And his first order of business seemingly was Google AdWords, Amazon SEO, and paying Sydney Sweeney to be a spokesperson for soap. I will say, I do think it's kind of weird. This is an odd pivot for Sydney Sweeney. I feel like to be taken seriously as an actress, you shouldn't be shilling soap. What the hell do I know? I'm not an actress, and I'm not even a soap spokesperson. So I'm really not somebody to comment on this. But I do think if you haven't been following this story, Dr. Squatch is all over your supermarket. Dr. Squatch is all over Amazon. I think I wash my body with it. I really do. I don't even know if it smells good. It was just like, it was there and it was cheap. And I was like, sure. I like bars of soap. I'm not into body wash. I think body wash is just like a lot of production. I don't love a loofah. I think a loofah is kind of gross. I think a loofah probably just breeds germs. I don't know. Skeptical, very skeptical of loofahs. Love me a bar of soap. Me and a bar of soap. Buds. Buddies. Me and a bar of soap. Me and a bar of soap. Best friends. So anyways, they make bars of soap, and that's the first thing that came up on Amazon. So here I am giving them my money and mocking their name. So there's a new, is it a flavor? What do you call soap? There's a new scent, okay? And it's Sydney Sweeney's like branded scent, which I'm sure was part of the deal. It's like, we're going to start with this ad campaign around the Super Bowl. People will familiarize you with our brand, and you're just going to be kind of endorsing it, whatever. And she's like the odor genie or something. She's like, it's very odd. The whole thing is odd if you're trying to be taken seriously as an actress, which I assume she is, right? So it's called Sydney's Bath Water Bliss. Sydney's Bath Water Bliss. It's a collaboration with Dr. Squatch, and it is soap infused with Sydney Sweeney's alleged actual bath water. Now, before I get into why this is gross, I do want to talk about why this is actually a good thing, especially for parents. Because if you're a parent of a young adolescent male who shows an interest in purchasing, or furthermore, you purchasing for him Sydney's Bathwater Bliss, Dr. Squatch actually did you a favor. Dr. Squatch actually gave you the gift of knowing that you are raising a pervert. Okay? You have a troubled son. That's an early warning sign for a whole litany of issues that you need to check little Timmy into psychology for, or get him to a therapist quickly, get him to maybe a psych ward quickly. This is so gross and perverted. And dude, I ain't a prude, bro. It ain't about that. But just how have we gotten in 20 years from when I was in middle school to now to fantasizing about just, I don't know, like how hot a chick was, to now wanting to be close or in proximity or bathe in her bathwater, dude? Yo, you don't have to admit if you want this soap. You don't. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you. If you already bought this soap, predominantly because it apparently is infused with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not. I'm not even going to tell anybody that you did that. What I'm going to tell you, though, go outside. Go outside, go for a walk, go for a run, call a friend, have a catch, walk to a library, rent a book. Like, dude, you gotta touch grass, bro. Like, for real, if you are legitimately buying a soap with Sydney Sweeney's infused bathwater, that might be an early sign of murderer. That really might be like an early red flag of like, you shouldn't be allowed on planes. I'll go even further. I fly a lot for work. I don't want to sit next to you if you bought that. If the guy sitting next to me on my next flight to New York smells like this, I'm good. Excuse me, stewardess. Yeah, I forgot something in the airport. Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah. I have no idea what that guy's going to do. I have no idea what the person is capable of that buys Sydney Sweeney's bath water infused Dr. Squatch soap. That's the real threat to society now. Don't believe what you see on Fox News. Don't believe what you see on MSNBC. This is the greatest threat to American society. If you want a watch list, like a really comprehensive watch list, if you want an anti-terrorism watch list and a short list, people you know you got to keep an eye on, people you know shouldn't be allowed on planes, people that you know, hey, what's their Amazon search history, bro? They buying weapons? I bet you they're also buying Sydney's bathwater bliss, bro. All right? Seriously. If you want Sydney's bathwater bliss, you just it's almost like I used to, when I would get stressed out, I would drink or smoke, and now I just go on walks. 10-minute walk does the same thing, right? But it's way healthier. If you have a compulsion to buy Sydney's bathwater bliss, instead of pressing order now on Amazon, text a girl you know. Message somebody on a dating app. Socialize. This is weird, dude. This is really weird. And I kind of can't believe Sydney Sweeney's doing this. You know what I mean? But that's a very weird story. Very weird story. Speaking of horny dudes, though, Drake is in the news. Yes, sir. And can we get a congratulations for Drake? Some clapping emojis for Drake. I got to figure out how to do this so you can hear me, but I don't want this to block my face when I'm on the stream. I want people to see my pretty face. Okay, there we go. Drake is in the news, and Drake did a really crazy thing. Drake has earned a record-breaking... Let me start this over. Drake has earned a record-breaking 10th diamond certification from the RIAA. And I'm very proud I said all that right. Now, what a diamond certification is it is 10 million records sold. Okay. Now, of course, Drake is in this streaming equivalent unit era, which is a kind of form of music industry witchcraft. So it's a little different than, like, say Diamond Records in 1980. That means 10 million people bought a product, but we can't go back in time, and this is the lives we live and the times we live in. So on Wednesday, it says the Recording Institute Association of America, that's RIAA, those are the people that fought Napster. How'd that go for them? Gave diamond certification to two of Drake's biggest hits, 2009's Best I Ever Had and 2013's Hold On, We're Going Home. That brings the total of Drake's diamond certifications to 10, the most of any artist ever, as you might imagine. As Billboard points out, Drake leapfrogged over Post Malone and Garth Brooks, who both had 9 certifications apiece. Now, I want to point something out. The advantage, it smells like something's burning. The advantage that megastars of today have that even Drake doesn't have. Post Malone has 9. Post Malone's first song came out in 2016, 7 years after Drake's first song came out. Think about that. And he's got 9. Hold on. Are the lights burning? We're going to have a guest really quick on this stream. Britt. Can you come in here and smell if it's burning? I really think something's burning. Think these lights are burning?
I don't smell.
You don't smell some...
I'm cooking. And I had just cleaned the stove.
All right, watch what you say, though. You're live.
No, I don't think.
You just cleaned the stove?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, it's got to be what it is. Anyways, sorry guys, I couldn't have my house burned down. No, these aren't hot at all, these lights. Anyways, Drake leapfrogged over Post Malone and Garth Brooks, who had 9 certifications apiece. So my point is, there's going to be a theme here that the newer the megastar, the more of these certifications that they have, which thus means it's easier now to get these certifications, thus meaning these are not the same apples to apples certifications of yesteryear when people used to buy an album. There's nothing wrong about just creating a new term or new certifications for the streaming era, which is what I think they need to do because it's starting to get ridiculous. Anyways, it's probably worth pointing out that fully half of Drake's diamond certifications are for appearances on other people's songs. That's interesting. Travis Scott's Sicko Mode, Future's Life is Good, Rihanna's Work, Lil Wayne's Love Me. I don't even know how that song goes. That's diamond? And Chris Brown's No Guidance. Is diamond? Get the fuck out of here. It's still a huge accomplishment, and Drake could soon extend that record. At the moment, his 2018 smash, Nice for What, is 9 times platinum. So it's just one step away from diamond. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, because I want to prove a point. Going diamond now is not the same thing as going diamond in the 20th century. Okay? It's just not. There are 168 songs that have been certified diamond. Okay? Now, 10 million records sold. 10 million. I want to put this into perspective, right? Like, what are some... Okay. What are some video games that have sold 10 million copies? Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5, Tetris, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are video games you've heard of. Those are video games I even mentioned earlier tonight on the stream. Other video games that have reached 10 million copies sold: Super Mario Brothers, Wii Sports, which I think came with Wii back in the day, the Nintendo Wii, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, bro. Okay? Those are like, I would argue every millennial had one of those growing up. My point that I'm building will be clear. What are some movies that sold 10 million tickets? Okay. Movies that sold 10 million tickets. Not $10 million, 10 million tickets, 10 million purchases, because that's what diamond means. Titanic sold an estimated 18.9 million tickets. Other films with high ticket sales include Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, 110 million tickets. Jaws, 110 million tickets. Avatar and Avengers Endgame, also among the films with very high ticket sales. Gone with the Wind is another classic film that sold a significant number of tickets, estimated to be around 100 million. And additionally, films like The Sound of Music, E.T., and Ben-Hur have also achieved high ticket sales. You've heard of all of those movies. I would imagine you could even tell me, like, yo, what happens in that movie? Oh, Luke Skywalker's fighting Darth Vader. Darth Vader's his dad. Avatar's like the blue people and they're trying to save the planet. Titanic is, Leonardo DiCaprio and Rose and I'll Never Let Go and Celine Dion, right? You not only know the movie, you can describe the movie to me. So take that into account when we're talking about 10 million purchases of a product, okay? Think about that. Because we're going to go down a list right now of the 168 songs that have been certified. 172 songs that have been certified as diamond throughout history. So let's look at this. You ready? Number one is, I don't know if I don't know if these are rankings or they're just listing it. But again, the point is, you should know all of these songs. And my point is, in recent years, there are songs you do not know that are now going diamond, which I think is just ridiculous. Okay. Oh, I got to just adjust real quick, guys. Okay. Something About the Way You Look Tonight / Candle in the Wind. Now, this is one of the biggest songs of all time. This is was released around the time of Princess Diana's death in 1997, which was a global story. I mean, not just the UK. That was a global story and a global tragedy at that, given the nature of how Princess Diana passed away. Elton John, a close friend. I don't know if he wrote this for Princess Diana, but he certainly performed it at her funeral. And a moving song, a beautiful song, absolutely 10 million records sold. Baby Justin Bieber, featuring Ludacris, was certified May 9th, 2013. Now, this was right around that iTunes era where people still got digital songs on iTunes for $1.29 or 99 cents, whatever. Remember those back in the day, like early 2010s? So, yeah, I believe it. Justin Bieber, the Beliebers. You remember the army that was the Beliebers? You remember fan armies? Where have fan armies gone, by the way? That's just like not a thing anymore. The idolization of the pop star is non-existent now. Like people will like... Young women will like Sabrina Carpenter. Young women will like Olivia Rodrigo or Chappell Roan or Charlie XCX or Billy. But I don't think there's this idolization because they're so accessible now. But that's a conversation for another time. Justin Bieber was idolized, and I totally get that. Not Afraid, Eminem. I'm surprised by this, but again, those early 2010s, a lot of people buying singles on iTunes. Bad Romance, Lady Gaga, huge song. Radioactive, Imagine Dragons. I would not have imagined that, no pun intended. Thrift Shop, Macklemore, Ryan Lewis, featuring Wands. Some guy named Wands is out in the world right now with a diamond record. Look at that, Wands. Hey, Wands. Yeah. Can I come over? I want to see the diamond record. Yeah, come by. Wands. Poker Face, Lady Gaga, smash hit. Call Me Maybe, Carly Rae Jepsen, good for her. Definitely a smash hit. Uptown Funk, big song. Big song. Definitely big song. Roar, Katy Perry. Huge. Maybe one of her last real hits. Royals, Lord, huge. All about that bass, Meghan Trainor. Kind of obnoxious, but huge. Despacito by Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin Bieber. One of my favorite memories ever was I was riding around on this Bacardi bus with Luis Fonsi in the summer of 2017 in New York City for this Bacardi activation. And we would stop and people would be like, hey, it's Luis Fonsi. No reaction from New Yorkers. No reaction from the people walking around Manhattan. And when this song is like the biggest song in the world. So then we just started going, Despacito. And everybody was like, oh my God, Despacito. People thought this man's name was Despacito. Huge record-breaking song. Absolutely diamond. Absolutely diamond. Firework, Katy Perry, another one of these songs from the early 2010s that just, she was on fire, man. What's with me in the puns, dude? I'm saying imagine dragons, imagined, firework, fire. I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny. Lose Yourself, Eminem, huge song. Love the Way You Lie, huge song. Blurred Lines, Robin Thicke featuring Pharrell and T.I. Big song, controversial song, of course, but big song. I Got a Feeling, Black Eyed Peas. I mean, this was like the graduation song. Was this? Yeah, I think this was like people's graduation song, at least when I was going to high school. Party Rock Anthem is diamond. Good for those guys. What the hell do those guys do now? LMFAO, for those at home that can't see. Counting Stars by One Republic is diamond. Closer, the Chainsmokers featuring Halsey. It's a big song. Cruise by Florida Georgia Line is diamond. It's a good song. But see, we know all these songs. This is my point. Dark Horse by Katy Perry featuring Juicy J. Just the Way You Are, Bruno Mars. Surprise, but again, big song. All these are really big songs. Shape of You, big song. Thinking Out Loud, Ed Sheeran. We Are Young by Fun is diamond. All right. I'm Yours, Jason Mraz. So this is also a list of like people who never have to worry about money like ever again. So I'm just scanning through some of these because we'll go crazy if we do this. But see, a lot more, I want to point something out, a lot more 2010 songs than any other decade. Have you noticed that? Happy, Pharrell. Meant to Be, BB Rexa, 2010s. Grenade, 2010s. Pumped Up Kicks, 2010s. All of Me, 2010s. Baby Shark, 2010s. Rockstar, 2010s. Sunflower, 2010s. Stay With Me, 2010s. Party in the USA, 2007. Sicko Mode, 2010s. Bodak Yellow, 2010s. Queen, here we go. Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, 1975. And it wasn't certified diamond until 2021. That's one of the most famous songs of all time. Wasn't certified for 46 years. Bodak Yellow. How long did it take Bodak Yellow to get certified? 4 years? It took Queen 41 years. Dog. Nothing against Cardi. Nothing against the 2010s. The math ain't mathin'. Sorry, Justin Bieber, 2010s. Hey Soul Sister, Train, 2010s. Low, 2008. But look when it gets certified, 2021. Stressed Out, 21 Pilots, 2010. Somebody That I Used to Know, 2010s. That's What I Like, Bruno, 2010s. When I Was Your Man, Bruno, 2010s. Sail, AWOL Nation, 2010s. Moves Like Jagger, 2010s. Sad, XXX, 2010s. Demons, 2010s. Believer, 2010s. Lean on Me, Major Lazer, 2010s. Havana, Camila Cabello, 2010s. Stronger, Kanye West, 2008. But didn't get certified until 2021. Super Bass, 2010s. Life is Good, 2020s. Bro, Life is Good was certified less than 2 years after it came out. You can't tell me. I'm not saying it wasn't a good song, and I'm not saying it wasn't a song that deserves whatever diamond certification. You can't tell me that's the same math, bro. You can't tell me Bohemian Rhapsody, which is recognized in every single country around the world, where a movie was an international box office smash hit about the band Queen, that took that 41 years? It's getting easier to do this. Life is Good is not a better song inherently. Like, think about it like this. Life is Good by Future and Drake is not a 20 times better song than Bohemian Rhapsody. It's just not. Girls Like You, Maroon 5, 2010s. All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey, but that's kind of like a timeless song. Of course, it's originally, I think, like 1993, but kind of timeless, right? The Box, 2020s, Roddy Ricch. I Like It, Cardi B, 2010s. Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey, 2010s. Sugar, Maroon 5, 2010s. I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston. Now this, bona fide smash hit song. I mean, iconic, tied to an iconic movie, one of the best singers of all time, Whitney Houston, 1992. Lucid Dreams, 2010s. Location, Khalid, 2010s. Sing Me Location, bro. You don't even know how it goes. 1,000 Years, Christina Perri, 2010s, but I'm going to give this one a pass. This is everybody's wedding song, and it's a beautiful song. Blinding Lights, 2020s. Oh, no, maybe 2019. That might be 2019. Might be 2019. Starboy, Weekend, 2010s. Timber, Pitbull, 2010s. Thunder, Imagine Dragons, 2010s. Don't Let Me Down, Chainsmokers, 2010s. Heathens, 21 Pilots, 2010s. Unforgettable, French Montana, 2010s. Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. Now, here's a classic song. But see how long it took to get Diamond? Released in 1982, wasn't certified till 2022. All right, so let me paint you a picture. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl, right? Everybody knows the song. Everybody knows the song. A groundbreaking song. Michael Jackson held MTV hostage, said, if you do not play more black artists, you do not get my video with Billie Jean in 1982. This is a historic song. This was heard at every single wedding if you got a good DJ. This is heard on old school throwback R&B stations every single day, pop stations, oldie stations, every single day in North America and probably around the world. One of the most famous artists of all time. Some say the greatest artist of all time. One of their biggest songs. 40 years. 1982 to 2022. Took it 40 years. How long did it take Khalid? It took Khalid 5 years. How long did it take Daya? Chainsmokers and Daya. This isn't even like the Chainsmokers' biggest song. This took 7 years. Billie Jean, 40 years. Again, you could be like, who the fuck cares about this? And maybe you don't fucking care. But I think it's fascinating, dude. Thriller, Michael Jackson, 40 years. Meanwhile, Drip Too Hard took it like a year. What the fuck are we talking about? Locked Out of Heaven, 2010s. Can't Hold Us, Macklemore, 2010s. Wagon Wheel, 2010s. Also, why was everything certified diamond in 2022? You ever notice that? Darius Rucker, 2022. Chainsmokers, 2022. Post Malone, 2022. White Iverson, 2022. Weekend, 2022. Drake, 2022. Drake, 2022. Lollipop, Wayne, 2022. All of this, I'm not even making this up. Are you watching this? Pursuit of Happiness, Kid Cudi, 2022. EXO Tour Life, 2022. Okay. Maybe, is it because it's chronological order? But still, it's a lot of certifications. Fireflies, Owl Cities. It's a big song. Without Me, 2010s. Say You Won't Let Go, James Arthur. Great song. I would never imagine it was Diamond. Weekend, Earned It. Take Me to Church, Hozier. Just Dance, Lady Gaga. Need You Now, Lady A. That's a great song. Everyone knows how those go, though. You know what I mean? Sweater Weather, Better Now, Post Malone, I Fall Apart, Post Malone, Circles, Post Malone, Rihanna, We Found Love, huge song. Luke Combs, Beautiful Crazy. How the fuck does that song go, bro? Released it in 2018. 5 years, Diamond, bro. Come on, get out of here. I'm not saying it's not Diamond. I'm just saying, like, it's different. Stop saying it's the same thing. It's not going to take Billie Jean or Thriller 40 years to do something that Luke Combs' Beautiful Crazy did in 5. I'm not talking crap about Luke Combs, bro. I'm not talking crap about this song. I admittedly don't even know the song, which is part of the problem and the skepticism. I'm just saying, you can't say these are the same things. No. It did not take Thriller 40 years to do something that it took Luke Combs 5. And we're going to call it the same thing? No, it's not the same thing. And N-Words in Paris, Jay-Z, Kanye West. Big song, very big song. Wake Up, Avicii, classic EDM cut. F Love, XXX Tentacion. I do know that song, but I mean, the fact that it only took 6 years is funny. California Girls, Stay. This took 2 years to go diamond. No Hands, Waka Flocka. He's cool. I like that guy. Riptide, Vance Joy. Bad Guy, Billie Eilish. Body Like a Back Road, Sam Hunt. Big song. Like, look at this, bro. It took In the Club 20 years. Bump, 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 bump. 50 Cent has said this himself. I don't know if you know this. The reason he did that song is he wanted a song that could be played every single day of the week, every week of the year, and every year of life, because every day is somebody's birthday. And that's a birthday song. Took it 20 years. 20 years. Dua Lipa, Levitating, 3. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Someone You Love, Louis Capaldi. Young, Dumb, and Broke. Khalid has 2 diamond songs? What? Heaven, Kane Brown. Mr. Brightside, The Killers. Took Mr. Brightside 20 years. Don't Stop Believing, Journey. 43 years. 43 years. Drip Too Hard, Lil Baby, Gunna, 1. Took him 1 year. Journey, Don't Stop Believing, one of the most famous songs of all time, played in every bar down the Jersey Shore for half a century now, every summer. Nah. Took him 43 years. Yeah, Usher, took it 20 years. In the end, Linkin Park, quarter century, 24 years. Brett Young, in case you didn't know. I think I know that song, but Diamonds, Rihanna. Wow, Post Malone. Just like every Post Malone song, it goes diamond now. Let It Go is a very big song. Totally believe that. Bang Bang, big song. Sure. Needed Me, Rihanna. All right. Work, Rihanna. Okay. Umbrella, Rihanna. Huge. But see this, like, okay, Stay. Another Rihanna one. Give Me Everything by Pitbull. Shout out to Pitbull. Heat Waves, Glass Animals. Now, this was diamond, dude. I played this every hour on the hour for like 3 years of my life on the radio. Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. Die For You, The Weeknd. Drowning by A Boogie. It's funny. It's so funny. This came out in 2017, the song. And I was on a walk or a run the other day, and I saw like I don't know, 13-year-old kid. And he was listening to this. And I was like, that's kind of, isn't that funny? Like, so that's what, like 2017 is what, 8 years ago? Like when I was 13, I wouldn't have been listening to songs for 8 years before I was 13. Just people listen to music differently now. It's kind of interesting. E.T., Katy Perry, big song. Teenage Dream, Katy Perry, Chandelier, Sia, Thunderstruck by AC/DC. Took it 34 years. I mean, that's played in every sports arena, every time a game is played. Thunderstruck. Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi. 38 years. Empire State of Mind, Jay-Z, big song. Middle Child, good song, but I mean, really? 5 years, it's diamond? When It Rains, It Pours, Luke Combs. Have no idea how that goes. Took it 7 years. Hurricane by Luke Combs. Took 8 years. No idea how it goes. No One, Alicia Keys, Big Song. Happier, Marshmallow, Bastille. 6 years. God, that's another one where I was just getting into radio. We played that every single hour. Goosebumps, Travis Scott. Love Me, Lil Wayne, Drake. See, I don't even know how that song goes. No idea how that song goes. Apparently it's Diamond. No Guidance, Chris Brown, Drake. I mean, that one's like, it's a good song, but Diamond's just insane to me. Like Irish Goo Goo Dolls. That took that, what, 26 years? Starships, Nicki Minaj, 12 years. Lovely, Billie Eilish and Khalid. What are all these Khalid Diamond songs? It's no offense to Khalid at all. I think I co-hosted a Grammys. No, what did I co-host with Khalid? I co-hosted, we announced the Billboard Music Award nominations together in 2018, Khalid and I, when he was releasing music like this. Smells Like Teen Spirit. 33 years. It took it 33 years. Again, just call it something different. It's not the same thing. J. Cole, Hey Ya, Single Ladies, Halo, Ride, Seven Rings, and What Ifs, Kane Brown and Lauren Elena. Oh, Jack Harlow, what's poppin'? I guess that's Diamond. Took Michael Jackson 40 plus years to get Thriller to Diamond. Jack Harlow, 5 with What's Poppin'. And I like What's Poppin'. But what the fuck are we talking about? Look at Me Now. Oh man, I hate that song. Why is that song so irritating to me? I'm not saying it's not a really big song, but Look at Me Now. Best I ever had, Drake. Hold On, We're Going Home, Drake, as we talked about. And then some ads for a shower head that keeps selling out on Amazon. So yeah, there you go. I'm getting paper. My point there, of course, is those are just different things. Those are just completely different things. Just call it something different. Like sports leagues do. Just call it something different. Like when they extend the season, they put an asterisk or they like note like these are different rules or, you know, whatever the hell. You know what I ought to do? I'm going to go on Facebook and share this. Dude, by the way, the 4K camera looks awesome, bro. I'm really happy with how this camera looks. Oh, all right. I think I'm going to come back on tomorrow and I'm going to talk about some other stuff. I got some Metallica news to talk about. I got some Rihanna stuff to talk about. Mariah Carey, Fifth Harmony, Zayn, Sabrina Carpenter. No, I think we already talked about Sabrina Carpenter. But yeah, so I'll probably do another stream tomorrow in the morning. But anyways, these clips will be everywhere. Just FYI. Like, you don't have to be here live. It's cool to be here live. Shout out to Melissa. Shout out to Bud Light Bro. But yeah. I mean, we're closing in on 3 hours live. I mean, I guess we can keep going. Where's my water? Yeah. I mean, I think 3 hours is a pretty good stream, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you to everyone who's here. Like, subscribe, favorite, comment, all that good stuff that helps me out. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow if you want to hang out. And thanks for everybody who was on the Connected Instagram broadcast channel. I appreciate you. I think there's like 78 people in there, which is very flattering. Yeah, I will talk to you again very soon. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Peace. Peace out.